Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami Fort Lauderdale presents The Neil Rogers Show.
No.
To talk to Neil, call 567-0560, toll free for Dade and Broward, or pound 560 on your cell phone.
No.
The opinions of Neil, his guests, callers, or anyone else on the show do not necessarily reflect those of WQAM, Beasley Reed Acquisitions, or the Beasley Broadcast.
No.
Now, Neil Rogers on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Ben, Coach, get away from the ball, motherfucker.
Dear Atlantis, I don't know if you remember me, but I was the guy whose house you set on fire last year. God, I miss you, even though you blew up my car and cut all my hair off. I miss you, girl. But one quick question, do you think you could let me know when you might let me out of this pit? No one's fed me for weeks, but I'm not complaining. Don't misunderstand me, because I love you with all my heart. But if you happen to see my mother, please let her know I'm not dead yet. Dear Atlantis, I want to tell you that the guy you saw with your best friend, that wasn't me. He might have looked and talked just like me, but that's surely purely coincidental. I was nowhere near that place. I love you too much to look at anyone else. Dear Atlantis, I had a dentist appointment that day, and I was nowhere near the Sheraton Meadowlands Hotel. I would never cheat on somebody who treats me so good and wins all those Grammys, has all that money. Hey, come on, let me out of the pit, will you?
No.
Come on.
10:02 at 560 WQM. Happy Thursday to you. So anyway, I've got the most distressing job here this morning. God, how do I break this butt-sucking thing to the audience? Well, they won't be surprised. Well, I didn't hear it myself, although somebody who was at my house last night watching the first two periods of the Buffalo-Ottawa playoff game, somebody who I treated to dinner last night, well, I didn't really treat. Jeff Cohen treated him to dinner at the Pizza Loft. I don't want to mention Jeff Rimmer. He said, oh, yeah, they asked me to be on tomorrow morning to call in on the worst team because Defoe's out of town. And, of course, Geldy's the only one on the show that knows even a little bit about hockey. So they want to talk about with the playoffs coming up, et cetera, starting. Okay, am I going to get up at, I was up, but am I going to turn on the radio in the house 7:45 in the morning?
No.
To this station especially?
No.
Of course not. But when I get inside the building, I hear the most distressing, the most unbelievable. Well, let me just set the stage for this, okay? Set the table, so to speak, without the silverware. So, Rimmer sets me up. His mother-in-law's in town. And so, he doesn't want to, impose on his wife and his mother-in-law to have to be sitting there watching hockey games with the playoffs on. So, naturally, why not come over to my house to watch a hockey game? Great, no problem. I got 2 satellite dishes, big screen TV. And how about buying him dinner before the game would be good? Well, he didn't really say that. But if Rimmer says, let's go to dinner, it means he ain't buying. So you figure it out. So I got even with him. I said, okay, I'll meet you at the Pizza Law 5 o'clock, knowing that the price would be right and the food would be very good, which it was. Thanks, Ponytail. I'm going to tell you, in the hour that we were there, I picked up enough material to, blackmail at least 50 different people. It's just unbelievable. Amazing. I could retire right now, this minute. So at any rate, we're sitting there, and the help there very friendly to me. Oh, yeah, Neil Rogers is here. They call off Ponytail. Wasn't there at the moment on his cell phone. He comes rushing into the restaurant. So he sits down, and he says to us, he said, gee, if you guys would have told me you were coming tonight, I would have taken you out and bought you both dinner at someplace better. His little brand of humor, Ponytail. And Rimmer responds without a pause, without a hesitation, how about tomorrow night? True story. Oh, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you're just kidding, right. Anybody believe he's just kidding?
No.
Of course not. So I come in here this morning, and I don't know what to say about this. Because George and Rimmer hate each other like poison, which I still haven't figured out what that's all about. I don't mean dislike. I don't mean despise. Hate. In fact, I told him that you were going to be doing the show and I'm on vacation. Just psychotic. He was doing cartwheels, somersaults.
So I guess he's not going to listen?
He'll be listening, because I'm sure you'll be talking about him, won't you?
Well, I'll be talking about what Mike Plank said about him.
Oh, okay. Oh, now he'll be listening, yeah. And so will everybody else. So I guess I just should play it, and not beat around the bush. He calls in this morning on the worst team. I didn't hear the rest of it, ostensibly to talk about the NHL playoffs. But somewhere in the conversation came up an opportunity to do a major league suck job.
What's going to happen with that radio job, in your opinion?
Oh, the radio job.
Yeah, the radio play-by-play now that Chris is going.
I think obviously Goldie, based on his pinch hitting performance, has got to be considered as a serious candidate. One thing about Steve Goldstein, and I think you'll agree with me, Joe, you know better than anybody in all seriousness, I respect the work that Steve Goldstein puts in. Be it preparing for a Panther radio broadcast. I've had the fortune of working with Joe at QA, or not with Joe, but with Goldie at QAM. And Joe, I think that Goldie's a hard worker, and I really respect that, and I think he's got to be considered in the mix.
Well, you have been strong.
Way to go, Rim.
What a suck-up job that was.
I mean, I can't find words. There are no words that have been invented yet to describe the suction. When I heard that, I almost fell off this chair and on the ground. Not that I know that he doesn't really believe that. Anybody believe that? Not that I know. Yeah, right. I mean, why do people feel compelled? Why is this market so full of suckholes? Are they all Larry King wannabes? Is that it? They think they're going to make it to the top by sucking their way to the top? Kissing cottage cheese ass all the way to the top? Unbelievable. This man no more believes that Geldy ought to be doing the Panther games next season than he's going to pay for the next 10 dinners. There isn't a Chinaman's chance in hell. I think I'm just going to play that from now to 2 over and over again. How many times have I gone ballistic on the air here telling you about all the suction that goes on? That's basically what this town is all about. That's the biggest one of the big problems with this town. Too many suckholes. Very few people are really have an honest opinion and are willing to take a chance and express it. But, you don't have to go out of the way. I mean, makes my skin crawl. How about tomorrow night? Save it for next time. We got to find that alligator arms, by the way. Whatever happened. Did he come in here one day and, take that out of our DCS, alligator arms? Unbelievable. A man with arms too short to ever wear. I mean, a couple of times I've noticed him try to reach for the check, but the arms just, can't reach far enough. Even if they put it, right in front of his little hands, they just can't reach out there and grab that check. Major.
What a suck-up job that was.
Suck-up job. The worst. Well, I would say that was the worst suck-up job I ever heard in my life. Larry King couldn't come close to it. The Humper couldn't compete with it. There is nobody in the history of mankind, even the biggest marshmallow tossers, the biggest butt lickers, the biggest name droppers, could never come close to matching that Rimmer. Man. Not just insincere, but a flat-out, blatant pile of big, oozing, smelly crap is what that was. Crap. But just keep it up. Because the sports nerds who listen to the station, they eat that stuff up anyway. With they put mayonnaise on it. You know, the Dutch put mayonnaise on their French fries. Well, the South Florida sports nerds, they put mayonnaise on their crap. And they love it. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Oh, wait till I share my first facts with you in a minute. Great. Starts off my morning on a real high note. Great facts. From another one of our gun huggers out there in Radio Land. I love it.
Not that you have to suck.
And nothing to do with that.
Yeah. 5 hits and I'm weak. It mellows me out for the peace I seek. Light that bong, here I go again. I got the munchies, makes me want to snack. And then I'll lie down, gonna take a nap. And then I'll get up and I'm making tracks. A couple of tokes and the buzz is coming back. Now I get a thrill when I roll that weed. Talk about my favorite sensibility seed. Make some extra cash and I'll sell you a liter too. 'Cause I only roll up, only smoke the best. Boy, I'm gonna hate to take that urine test. My back porch is worth God only knows where the illegal grass grows.
All right. Not that you have to suck.
This is good stuff, man. Give me golf, please. Come on.
Not that you have to suck.
10:14 here at Suction Central, baby. 560 WQAM. This town, I'm telling you, someday it'll be just like that big black hole that they're always talking about in outer space. Just disappear off the map. It'll just get sucked right down into the center of the earth. Maybe even Pat Boone will be down in there, or James Darren, or whoever was in that movie. Who was it? Well, one of them. Maybe it was Pat Goon. Nice suck job there, Rimmer. Phony, 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 insincere, unbelievable, shameful, a disgraceful display, a totally unacceptable display of just dishonest, of just crap. Here is a man who, and I agree with him, how could that voice possibly be on the air? When any reference made to Gildy, that squeaky, that tune-out, that voice, you know. I mean, Gildy's not a bad guy, but that voice, you know, he's got to overcome that voice. And he comes on here this morning and just gratuitously out of nowhere, just to be a suckhole, says what you heard, which I'll play again 20 or 30 times just to make sure. No, we got to pinch ourselves to make sure. Look at that. I'm itching already. I'm itching. I have an allergy from hearing that. Is how agitated my system is from hearing that crap. Here's a great fact before I get to my gun facts from John, by the way. Here's a great fact from a guy named Jim. Carl Sagan often said that American kids were so capable of violence not because of TV or movies or music or junk food or not going to Sunday school or any of these other bullshot reasons the right-wingers foam at the mouth about, but because we as a society are so bizarrely frightened of the idea of teenage sex that adolescents simmer restrained in a pressure cooker full of hormones until they have to break loose somehow, often explosively, which, as you have so often pointed out, does not happen in most other advanced countries. The few who do view sex with the same what does it say? With the same idiotic fear as we Americans always seem to have the same violent leanings most Islamic countries, for example. There you go. Think about this. Is that a veiled reference? Think about this, he says. Any country Americans visit because they consider it either a paradise or just a great place is fundamentally free of morality about teenage and most other sexuality. You know, you're right, says Jim. Get me my passport. I'm getting the F out of this place. I want to move somewhere that's civilized. Nice going, Jim. Excellent facts. Oh! Right on. Right on target. And then, of course, we come to the first facts that I got out of the machine this morning, which I don't want to carry on again. I mean, yesterday was a great show, if I say so myself. Brilliant show. Nice going, Neil. Thank you. And then, of course, I got to hear the rest of the station going on about, do you think the Bears can draft a running back? Yeah. Seriously, I don't feel sorry for those people. I feel sorry for us, that we're surrounded by idiots like that. I mean, here we've just been through a massacre of young people right here in the middle of this country, and these people nothing deters them from their appointed stupidity. That's all they know about. That's all they know. That's the beginning and the end of their existence. You idiots out there that keep asking me, well, what's the meaning of life? What's the meaning of their lives? Huh? I mean, once the ball scores stop coming in, is their life even worth living at all?
No.
Good question. So anyway, John faxes me this. Here you go. And it's interesting, there's a little whiteout in here. He must have put a word in there. I don't want to say it might have started with N or something like that. But you'll figure it out. He says, just a thought to ponder, Neil. If you went to sleep tonight and 3 hours later woke up to and then there's a whiteout there, you know. Large figure standing at the foot of your bed with a black ski mask. See, you got the black in there, but just he moved it around a little bit. Could have been a brown ski mask, a orange ski mask, any kind, a black ski mask, and a 6-inch knife in his hand. You would sell your soul to the devil to have immediate access to a gun. I'd sell my soul to the devil. No, I just borrowed the devil's pitchfork. Sure do better than that stupid knife, that guy. I mean, he's only got 6 inches, this guy, and the knife, too.
That's not a knife.
That's just a little, that's like a letter opener. Huh? This is the focus, says John, of the NRA. Anybody believe, John, by the way, that this is the focus of the NRA?
You son of a bitch.
Not to simply own a gun, but to protect ourselves and family with it, says John. Right. That's why all your kids are out there shooting each other up, blowing each other's brains out, committing either suicide with it or accidentally playing around with them and blowing their own brains out. You know, it's like, we all know what that is.
That's the American way.
There you go. That's right. Come on, have another one. And it's interesting because this whole business out there in Denver, NRA cancels portions of the Denver convention as a result of what happened 2 days ago. As horrifying details of the massacre at Columbine High School continued to emerge yesterday, Republican legislators in Colorado shocked their colleagues by killing, that's just, pardon the expression, killing 2 pro-gun measures headed for passage within a matter of days. Even before police could learn where the Colorado killers acquired their guns, Colorado Governor Bill Owens and several Republican leaders in the state retreated from their earlier support of those 2 major gun bills. The withdrawal of those bills was a stunning victory for gun control forces who had viewed Colorado as an important test after Missouri voters on April 6th rejected a measure that would have allowed more concealed weapons. Let me say it again. April 6th, Missouri voters rejected a measure that would have allowed more concealed weapons. Because guess what, John, and all you other gun huggers out there, the majority of us in this country aren't in love with guns. We don't want to see everybody and their brother running around with guns. We don't believe that most people have got some kind of right somewhere that they read into the Constitution, into the Bill of Rights, to have an arsenal of weapons in their basement, in their garage, in the backyard, in their wherever they're hiding them, okay? Hate to break the news to you, John, but that's the way the majority of sane people in this country think. We're not in love with our guns, okay, or your guns, or anybody else's guns.
You son of a bitch.
Well, too bad. And then, of course, right here in the Sunshine State, which somebody called in about this yesterday, Florida lawmaker delays debate on gun lawsuits. It'd be an inappropriate time to hear it, says the House Speaker, John Thrasher. And what were they going to debate yesterday? A proposed law to ban local governments' lawsuits against gun makers, including one filed by Dade County this year. The bill would even ban pending lawsuits like that one and the other ones that are pending. So in other words, let's make sure we get the gun makers off the hook is what that bill was all about. But they canceled the floor debate yesterday because the timing would have been real bad. It would have been real embarrassing to point out that our right-wingers here in the state of Florida, our gun nuts, our gun huggers, are trying to do everything in their power to protect the gun makers, to protect everybody and their brother who's got as many guns as they want. And I'm going to tell you something. I've been through this a zillion times. It's like the abortion thing. It's like any of the other tired, old issues. It's never, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of my time and your time because, just like I said before, it just ain't going to change.
That's the American fucking way.
That's right. That's just what it is. I'm not saying people ought to give up trying because, if you value your life, but nevertheless, it's going to be a long time before any serious inroads are made. Because this is a country that's obsessed with guns and violence, and believe me, that's not a very good combination. Not a good combination. Guns, violence, and a respect for human life. There's the third one. There's the trifecta for you. Put those together and you got a lot of dead people is what you got. You got a barbaric place, like I said yesterday. It's not a civilized country. You can keep pretending that I'm a bad guy, I got some kind of an agenda, whatever you want to say. You can attack me all you want with your bull crap, but the fact is, it's the truth. It's a barbaric country. Civilized country, people aren't walking around shooting each other. Kids aren't picking up daddy's gun and blowing their brains out and their classmates and their friends and their brothers and sisters. It's unheard of. See, the American, you can try to trace it to movies, you can try to trace it to TV, whatever you want. But the American public has developed an insatiable appetite for violence. Insatiable. That's why we have extreme everything. Extreme wrestling, extreme violence, Faces of Death, parts 1 through 5,000. Extreme, you fill in the blank. Extreme violence. Just plain ordinary violence, that's not fun anymore. That's no good anymore. And it's really interesting. They were showing some clips from a couple of movies, including that one movie geared to teenagers where they're in the school, they're blowing everybody away with rifles and shotguns. I don't know what the name of that movie is. And I'm thinking to myself, kids can go see these movies, even if they're like PG, whatever, if they have an adult with them. That's okay. But unless they're 18, they can't go see like a porno movie. They can't see sex. But all the violence that's ever been invented, no problem at all. See, this movie that they were showing, Clockwork Orange, remember, had an X rating? And it was nothing. I mean, there was some violence in it. There was some sexual, innuendo, but nothing. And, of course, Malcolm McDowell's a schlong. That was in there, too. But other than that. But the kind of gratuitous violence in these movies. And I'm not saying that if you go see a movie, that's an excuse because you got to decide it was a good idea to kill somebody. But just think of the different set of standards we're talking about there, okay? Okay to go see that. No matter what your age, really, they'll get you in. But God forbid there should be people, having sex, anything sexual. Oh, my God, unless you're at least 50, we don't want you to see that. And only with a note from your grandpa. America is neurotic about sex. So, Jim, with his facts, you're right on target, sweetheart. And as far as John and your facts, first of all, you got a good security system, and you got a little dog that barks a lot. I'm not really worried about some guy with a big black ski mask getting into my house, standing there with his 6 inches or his knife either. I'm not really too worried about it. I don't think he'd make it that far, okay, Jim? John, whatever your name was. Here's a lady mobile in somewhere. Hello. Hello? Lady Mobile. What happened to her? What just happened to the phone? What just happened to my life? I see it flashing before my eyes. I'm pressing the button, only she's not on. I can't press her off. She isn't going off. Oh, please don't tell me this is happening today. Not to me. What is this? Another Greg Reed deal here with our great equipment that never works? Look at that. I can't put her on. Let's try it again. Hello? Okay, let's try one more. Here's a mobile in Hialeah. Hello? And you can tell that they're not going to be on because the screen is like, hello? Going once. Going twice. How about line 5 in Davie? Hello? And as soon as I punch it up, whatever you've written on there where they are, that goes out. So guess what, boys and girls? Our phone system in this room doesn't work today.
Try one screen. Let's see if that helps.
WQAM. Hello? No, it says line in use elsewhere. This whole phone system is totally effed up. And you wonder that we actually have people, I mean, if you've been listening a long time, you probably shouldn't wonder anymore. But those of you who think that I get carried away, that I go overboard, you wonder why I go ballistic about working for people like this, where from one day to the next you come in and you have no idea if anything is going to be working. This is the most unbelievable, cheap-ass, horseball outfit I have ever worked for in my life. I work for stations that aren't even on the air anymore in Marshall, Michigan, places like that. And they were more professional in this horseball outfit. Let me try line 7. Mobile in, see, and I press it up and mobile in and the Miami goes out. So the whole phone system is out. It's done. It's history. Great. Left here yesterday at 2 o'clock. Phones were working fine. They were sizzling off the hook yesterday. We did a radio show in here. Come back in the next day. Does anything work?
No.
No. Only at WQAM. Hank tries to get on the air every single day. You can almost bet your life on it. Within the first 5 minutes, they're going to lose the line. He's out at Shula's, the line goes out. He's up in Louisville, the line goes out. This is a technical disaster. It's a technical horror show is what this is. What's the point of getting upset about it? What am I getting upset? What am I screaming and yelling and getting wild about it? It goes on all the time. In fact, the days that we ought to be surprised are the days when the damn thing works. Oh, and you guys are going to get a great new phone system up there, the state of the art. Did we get a new phone system?
No.
Was it another lie from our general manager who's showing his ass to the world?
Yeah.
Just another bunch of bull crap. Unbelievable. This is bring your daughter to work day today. So George has got his daughter Sabrina here today. Sabrina, you're getting a chance to see what a horseball place this really is, okay? It's just unbelievable. So what are we doing, boys and girls? Let's do a break, okay? That's what we're good for here. We can always get the spots on the air. We can't get the programs on the air too good, but we can get those spots on the air, baby. That's what this place is all about. All Spots Radio. Okay, let's hop right into it, okay? Let's not waste any time. 1031 at 560, your make-believe radio station, your Tinker Toy station for the 90s. Let's see if this works, okay? I don't think it will. Here's a lady mobile, it's going to work. Mobile in Pembroke Pines. Hello?
Neil?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, it's working.
Why did that work?
I don't know. I could hear you the whole time.
I know why it worked, because I got rid of that. I did something on that one button there. I think that's what did it. But anyway, there you are.
Okay, good.
What a miracle, huh?
Yeah, really.
Thank God. Thank
God
for just accidentally pushing that button. Somebody was in here diddling with our phone.
Okay.
Wait a minute. That's another reason, by the way, that we can't be letting anybody else in here in the afternoon to get in these studios. I don't want anybody else ever in here again. That door is locked, will remain locked, and if they got to do production in a toilet, let them do it in the men's room. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sweetheart.
That's okay. The NRA finally crawled out from under their rock last night and put a spin on the tragedy in Colorado.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
They felt that the reason that it happened is because the kids are raised with no moral values.
Right. Only the gun lovers have moral values. That's right.
They blamed Hollywood.
Right.
They played in the video games.
That's right.
And good old Ollie North, he started the show by saying there were 20,000 gun laws on the books, and not one of them stopped what happened out there.
Mm-hmm.
And
so why don't we just give everybody guns? I mean, if that's the logic, let's just give everybody a whole bunch of guns. It'll probably work out okay.
Right.
Guns are not a problem in America.
Senator Lautenberg from New Jersey was on there as the anti-gun lobby, I guess you could call him, and Ollie North, they were saying that the Brady Bill stopped 250,000 felons from getting gun permits and guns last year And the NRA's response, what are the felons doing walking the street? We need the government to enforce the laws more.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now, wait a minute. I thought, like, NRA, Republicans, they want less government, and now they're saying that they want them to arrest all these people and throw them away for good. Not all felons that are out there are bad people. You serve your time, you're allowed to come back into society.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I got news for you. They could take, if they took all the people in prison and jails on drug charges, if they took them out of jail, they could put all the scumbags away and keep them there for the next 50 years.
Right. And at the very end of the show,
including a lot of the ones that are playing in the National Felon League too, by the way.
I totally agree with you with that. At the very end of the segment, they were talking about how they need to restrict guns and make it harder for people to get, and of course they bring up the Second Amendment. And Senator Lautenberg read it word for word out of the Constitution.
But you're never, it's like the abortion thing. These are the same people. It's the same mentality. It's like arguing with a rock. Don't you understand? It's as much a part of their body as the blood that's thrown through their veins.
I agree. It was just so fascinating because I've been waiting to hear what the NRA had to say on this. This is total tragedy. It's a real shame. They're going to find out there was more involved in this than just a couple kids going out to blow them away, their friends away or whatever it was.
Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe they will or maybe they won't.
We might never know what really happened, but it was just so funny. Now they're going to. You
have to wonder again. We haven't heard a damn thing except for the the heartfelt messages from the parents of these two scumbags.
Right.
We heard that, but we haven't heard anything else about them or who they were or where they were when these kids were making their 30 explosive devices.
Right.
They were.
Right. Well, they got witnesses who said they heard them exploding them all through the week last weekend, and they were in the house, and so all this was going on, and they have a feeling that they were in there making all this stuff. But I don't think the two of them did it alone. They found too many explosion devices around that place. They could not have done that all by themselves.
Yes, they could. They asked one of the so-called experts this morning, one of the police people. They could have made them. I mean, you don't have no idea what the time frame was, how long they were planning this.
That is true. You don't know. But, yeah, the NRA put the spin on it that it wasn't the gun laws and nothing like that. It was just they're immoral.
Yeah.
You got it. Immoral in the whole 9 yards. So all your gun-loving people out there, sleep with your gun tonight, whatever.
They'll be squeezing them. Okay.
You got it. All right, thanks, Neil.
See ya.
Bye.
Oh, thank God our phone is working again now. Every day we got to go through some little kind of stuff in here, okay? By the way, thank you for the faxer that says this is a chronic faxer, by the way, but nevertheless, thank you anyway. The Basketball Diaries was the movie, and that kid with the trench coat goes in. You know that movie. And blows everybody away in the class. It blows a bunch of kids away. Basketball Diaries?
It was?
It wasn't?
I saw that movie. I don't remember that happening.
They showed the scene yesterday.
Well, then maybe I slept through that part. It was a Leo movie. It was crappy.
There's a scene where a kid goes in with a trench coat and shotgun wearing black and blows kids away. They showed the clip Tuesday night.
All right, I'll take your word for it. I kind of have what it has.
You must be thinking a one-on-one with Robbie Benson. That's the only basketball movie you ever saw. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't see it. The Basketball Diaries. I'm going to go see that. No. So I'm assuming that this is right because I'm sure it is because they showed it. Here's a mobile in Belle Glade. Hello.
Hi Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
I was just calling because yesterday I caught a show when I got off of work. This lady, she was a teacher at the school, and she was pleading that this could never happen to her school because they were the safest school. I don't think
because it was a what?
Because she had the safest school. That school that she was teaching at was the safest school, and she didn't think that it would ever happen. No one would think it would ever happen in the school, but today you take out the corporal punishment in the school, and you're left with that.
Mm-hmm. And what are a bunch of punks coming to school wearing black trench coats and sunglasses? By the way, all through class What is that?
Nothing. Just a statement that they're trying to make, but
a statement that they're trying to make? Yeah. What statement is the school system trying to make when they let kids do whatever the hell they want?
They're not making none. They're taking the side of politicians. That's how I feel, because as soon as you stop parents from being parents at home because you're going to call HRS on it if I spank him or discipline my child, I mean, you're taking the right side of parents' hands, and then you don't want to deal with the child. Everybody asking, where's the parents? Where's the parents? Well, sometimes your hands are tied.
Yeah.
I just want to
whose hands are tied?
the parents' hands because
no, I think the people in the parents' hands are tied. Maybe they're tied behind their back is the problem. Okay, sir. Parents' hands are tied. The school teachers' hands are tied by the parents. Don't ever touch my kid. Don't ever accuse my kid of doing anything wrong. By the parents, who are mostly scumbags. Parents of these kids, not always, mostly though. Sometimes you got some good parents who just are totally oblivious, tried their best. But generally speaking, in this country, one of our biggest pastimes is trash making babies. Otherwise, the Jerry Springer Show would be off the air tomorrow. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. That's right, man. The NRA people and the gun thing. Don't you understand? Can I draw you a map? Can I explain it to you? Guns are as American as apple pie and Chevrolet and hot dogs and baseball and beer and you name it. It's firmly ingrained. It's in there. It's deeply embedded since the days of the Wild West, and they don't want to let it go. They have more excuses. You can't reason with maniacs. You can't reason with them because there's nothing there that will ever permeate that thick skull of theirs. Nobody's going to take away their guns. And we're not just talking handguns. You name it. You can have an arsenal, as many as you want. Whatever you want. That's what the Bill of Rights says. I'm going to have my gun because I don't trust that government. And by the way, generally, politically, these are the people aligned with the far right wing, who are the people in government that we should be trusting the least, by the way. So maybe it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Of course, this is Robert. I'm flying in and out of town all the time on business or whatever. I was looking for a good sports talk radio station and happened to find Neil Rogers. To be honest with you, pathetic. Very pathetic. And this guy is, if this is all you got on sports talk radio, it is horrible. So I'd definitely try to find somebody better, that's for sure. And his whole GD thing and everything else, just tell him one day we'll all face the Lord. All right? Have a great day. Bye.
210 years ago this March, astronomer William Herschel discovered the planet Uranus. To commemorate this historic event, your public library is proud to present a special Salute to Uranus, complete with books and magazines to help you study Uranus, and a special display that allows you to examine Uranus more closely. Rectum. Why, after one visit, you'll be able to find Uranus with both hands tied behind your back. So stop by your library and discover Uranus today.
1045 at 560 WQAM. By the way, speaking of Uranus, this fits right in. NRA scales back its convention. How do you like that? They had to scale it back, like I said.
You son of a bitch.
Amid a growing backlash against guns following the Littleton, Colorado school massacre, the National Rifle Association yesterday began scaling back its annual convention, which was to begin next week in Denver, just a few miles away from the site of the shootings. A spokeswoman who declined to identify herself confirmed that the centerpiece of the conference, an elaborate exhibition at the city's convention center, would be closed. Meetings are to be held as scheduled. NRA spokesman Bill Powers did not return messages yesterday. The event had been expected to draw more than 22,000 hunters, shooters, collectors, and others from Colorado and the Texas Panhandle, but yesterday the powerful lobby representing nearly 3 million lunatic gun owners began taking down billboards with pictures of NRA President Charlton Heston
you son of a bitch.
along major roadways throughout the state and quietly informed its members of plans to scale back the event. Ted Pasco, executive director of the Colorado Coalition Against Gun Violence, a group of about 30 organizations, applauded the decision. We believe that in light of this horrible tragedy, the NRA should demonstrate some sensitivity to the families of the shooting victims, he said. The decision appeared to be a last-minute bid to avert what could have been a major public relations crisis for the NRA. Isn't that amazing? Gun lobbyists have a public relations thing they got to worry about. As in, how embarrassing do they have to look before we realize how crazy they are? As recently as Tuesday, Mr. Powers insisted that the organization wouldn't cancel the gathering, saying there's no way to do that. He added that hundreds of thousands of dollars have already been spent and that the Denver convention has been in the works for more than 5 years, for Christ's sakes. Before the Colorado shootings on Tuesday, the NRA had identified Colorado as a state where it stood a good chance of winning looser regulations on guns. Oh, boy, winning looser regulations on guns, including proposed legislation that would have made it easier for gun owners to get permits that allow them to carry concealed weapons. All right. No, they don't want people running around. They just want you to be able to protect yourself and your family in your home, right? No, what they want you to be able to do is have all the guns you want anywhere and everywhere. Let's just shoot it out, baby. In the parking lot, at school, anywhere you want. Crazy people is what we're talking about. Gun huggers. And it's such a phallic thing. I mean, anybody who doesn't realize that, these are old smoothies, these NRA guys. I bet you even with just a cursory examination, you'd find out that Charlton Heston, you son of a bitch, doesn't have anything even closely resembling a penis. I guarantee you that. That's why he's hugging that gun. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Yeah, Neil, I'm a little insulted as a parent.
Insulted
Everybody's blaming everything. Rosie O'Donnell was blaming Jerry Springer yesterday. Everybody's blaming the guns, but nobody's coming back to the parents, to the parental responsibility that I have to my kid to show them what's right or what's wrong. You know, I'm not for guns or anything.
But let me ask you this.
Guns do not kill people. People kill people.
Sir, my cliche-filled friend, let me ask you this. If you got bad kids who don't know the difference from right or wrong, doesn't it make sense that they shouldn't have any access to guns?
Well, besides guns,
is that a tough one? Sir, you're not having a conversation. You're just screaming.
No, but the kids were looking at crap on the internet. They were watching. You know, I heard it was a Stephen King book. I just heard from you.
You just got through decrying the people who are blaming everything else, and now you're doing it.
No,
what should we do?
I'm making fun of it. I'm making fun of it. What should have been done is that the parents should have been curtailing what their kids were seeing or anything like that.
Let me ask you. Sir, no, you can't ask me anything until you stifle your lip and let's have a conversation. Otherwise, you're gone, okay?
Okay.
Because you're a rude jackass.
Okay.
Now, how about the kids that pick up daddy's gun? And, every day in this town, practically, there's another horror story, and we see people crying on your television sets on the evening news because kids found daddy's gun that was sitting out unlocked, or a shotgun, or whatever it was, usually a handgun, and somebody gets killed. Them, their playmates, their brother, whoever it was. What about that?
Terrible. I agree. But
Yeah?
it's also the parental responsibility to keep those guns locked up and keep the child's safety lock on them.
And are they doing it? Are they doing it, sir?
I don't know.
Okay, good. Well, when you find out, call me back. When you find something out, when you know something, my concerned parent friend. He don't know. Like I said yesterday, we're just picking up just where we left off. It's like I told you, it's a hopeless argument. You're batting your head against the wall. I'm not going to do it. There's no point to it. Yeah, parents should be responsible, but you know something? There are a lot of parents who aren't. There are a lot of parents who are scum, reproducing, making babies. I know it may come as a shock to you, sir. It's not a big magic trick. Happens all the time. In fact, a lot of times, the worse the scum we're talking about, the more babies they be making, okay? But don't confuse this guy with the facts, that when you got a lot of kids out there who are come from families like that, who haven't been taught the difference between right and wrong, at least let's make sure that they don't have bombs, that they don't have guns, they don't have hand grenades. Let's do the best we can to make sure that that's not possible. But, God forbid we should do that, because then he starts with a cliche. Why did I let him go beyond that? Guns don't kill people. Okay. As soon as I hear the guns don't, that's it. That's like saying nuclear weapons don't kill people. Crazy governments kill people with nuclear weapons. So why do we want to do away with nuclear weapons, for Christ's sakes? Why should we want to do that? I mean, all you got to do is read your newspaper today that they're still a little bit concerned about Russia, the Y2K problem. I mean, it's 6, 7, 8 months away, whatever it is now, but they're not so sure about those nuclear warheads they got over there and the Y2K problem. There's a little bit of concern, like maybe we ought to send some people over there with a IQ larger than their thumbnail and help work that problem out for them. Just so we don't blow the world up when we change the date on the calendar. And then all the lunatics will be saying, we told you, Armageddon's coming. Told you so. Here's Kendall. Hello.
The world would be a much better place if everyone had a gun. You know that?
Oh, yeah, right.
But listen, to change the topic, what a great game we're going to have tonight, huh? The Maple Leafs and the Flyers.
Yeah, 567-0560. Call up one of the sports shows. We got lots of hockey experts on this station, okay? What you know about the Maple Leafs and the Flyers put together, sir? You wouldn't know maple syrup if Aunt Jemima stuck it inside your rectum, okay? 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. These last couple of days, even though I did watch some hockey last night with alligator arms, I mean, I for some reason I have less patience than usual for the sports nerds. It's just not on my mind. Isn't it amazing? Colorado, they canceled it. They moved the games, the first 2 games of the series from Denver out to San Jose. They rearranged that whole series. They canceled the Nuggets game. They canceled 2 Colorado Rockies baseball games. And like I said, if it would have been the time of the year when the Denver Broncos would have been playing, the National Felon League, they would have had to go on with it because, well, it's more important than life. I'm just not thinking too much about ball games right now, Especially when I read about these gun huggers, these crazy gun people. who are helping to destroy this country and making it into a slaughterhouse where every single day somebody in this country picks up a gun. I'm not talking about the scumbags that are out there. It's a whole separate issue. I'm talking about innocent kids and others. Oops, sorry. Oh, too late now. You need a driver's license to drive a car. Like I said, I'll say it over and over again, but to have a gun in the house, all you got to do is be able to go out and buy one. That's all. Just have enough cash to buy one. Or maybe somebody will give you one. But hey, let's make it easier to get concealed gun permits. Then we can all you get pissed off over a parking space in the supermarket. There you go. At the mall. Yeah, get out of that space, mother effer. Because we know that the American people are, very calm. They're not a violent bunch of people. Very calm, rational, reasonable. Don't get psychotic over stuff that's meaningless, Here's a mobile in Cutler Ridge. Hello.
Neil, how are you?
Okay, sir.
Listen, I agree with you. I mean, not to stir your wrath, but I'm a gun owner, but I would, if someone said tomorrow that there has to be, a license for it and psychological testing and range testing, I would be all for it.
Yeah.
And raise the age to 25.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think the NRA would be all for that?
I don't care. I don't give a crap. I mean, I don't give a crap. I mean, it's a responsibility I take very seriously. But the thing is this, I also think it's way too easy. It is way too easy. Another thing I wanted to say, I'm driving down to Palmetto today, first time I've been in that area, and I had to pull off the side of the road. Whoever put up the billboard for Sonny Hertz, I mean, they're a mensch, I mean, I had to stop and just, take a glance. I'd only seen the guy in little black and white photos sometimes in the paper and the IOD thing, but, it's nice to see his face. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Yeah, somebody called about it yesterday. It was a nice touch.
It was very nice, I mean, God bless Sonny Hertz,
Okay.
And God bless you, Neil.
And have a great day.
Bye-bye.
And don't sneeze again. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. I mean, this is one of the reasons that I gave up doing that kind of talk years ago, because arguing these things with people who are boneheads. I mean, it's like the religion thing. I just do that because it agitates a lot of people and because somebody needs to say it. Somebody needs to say the truth. But arguing guns in America, I mean, it's like saying, well, let's ban professional sports. Yeah, right. Let's make it illegal to fire off firecrackers on the 4th of July, huh? You think that's ever going to happen? No. That'd be the end of the 4th of July.
No.
Let's make it illegal to drink beer on the holidays, No. Let's, here's a mobile in South Miami. Hello.
Yeah, hey, what's going on?
How you doing, sir?
A couple things. I think that movie, somebody said something about a movie called Heathers. I haven't seen it, but somebody said a movie called Heathers that might have been something.
No, it was the Basketball Diaries, I'm sure.
It was a dream sequence. He was having a fantasy sequence.
Oh, fantasy sequence, but nevertheless, that's what they showed as a, kid in a black trench coat blowing away his class.
Correction to one of the Howard files I called yesterday. Howard is not anti-gun. Howard has a few guns, and every time a celebrity comes on the show and he doesn't have any, go, what do you mean you don't have a gun? Don't you got to protect yourself? This and that, whatever. And plus, today, of course,
I don't care. Listen, I don't listen to somebody because they agree with all my opinions or that's his business whether he has a gun or not. If he's responsible with it, I don't have a problem with that. But to pull the stunt that he had this guy do on a day when, just think of yourself as a parent, okay? You're sitting there, you're terrified, you're scared crapless, or think of yourself as one of the kids in the school, okay, who's hiding and cowering and watching. They had a TV set in every room. They had one kid call from inside the school. And they inject this in the middle of it like there's something funny about this?
Yeah, I understand. The other thing I was going to say is that George's got his daughter there. Howard had his daughter there. I wonder how funny it would be if they were playing the same kind of, if they played that call in the air then to let his daughter hear it. I wonder how funny his daughter would think it'd be. But I'm sure they cleaned that part up and they wouldn't let her hear that part.
Okay.
Okay, I got a request. Smoke two joints?
Okay.
Thanks.
See ya.
What's going to happen with that radio job, in your opinion?
Oh, the radio job.
Yeah, the radio play-by-play now that Chris is gone.
I think obviously Goldie, based on his pinch hitting performance, has got to be considered as a serious candidate. One thing about Steve Goldstein, and I think you'll agree with me, Joe, you know better than anybody in all seriousness, I respect the work that Steve Goldstein puts in. Be it preparing for a Panther radio broadcast. I've had the fortune of working with Joe at QA, or not with Joe, but with Goldie at QAM. And Joe, I think that Goldie's a hard worker, and I really respect that, and I think he's got to be considered in the mix.
Boy, you have been strong.
Way to go, Rim.
Já basta de chupar.
No, von das Lotti.
Sadan basta. Sadan basta.
Panza sucare.
Get the Hoover out the moon, man.
Enough for the sucking, enough for the sucking, enough for the sucking.
Oh. See, you're asking me, why does he do that? It's just his nature. It's like a leech that attaches, not Brian Leach, a leech that attaches itself to your, like, shoulder, your neck. It's its nature, like a vampire. Like Bela Lugosi. Why does he suck blood? It's his nature. It's his way. It's his thing. And Rimmer's thing is being an ass kisser. Good guy, but a real ass kisser. How about tomorrow night? 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T. Oh, yeah, it was just a joke, as he turns red in the face. It was just a joke. Oh, yeah, right. Here's a lady mobile in Kendall. Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Yes,
Good
ma'am.
morning, Neil. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
I totally agree with you, Neil. This is becoming the Wild Wild West all over again. Everybody wants to have a gun. Everybody wants to use it at the spur of the moment. And nobody's being responsible for these kids, for these guns that they can get faster and easier, that they can get drugs.
And God forbid anybody should talk about that, because then we get all the, the gun lovers out. We get all the cliches like that jackass parent before. Oh, guns don't kill people.
God,
There's another guy. Can't think for himself. All he is, his mind is filled with cliches that somebody else heaped in there.
He's scary as a parent. I mean,
Yeah.
I hate to see how he treats his kids. But in any case, my husband and I are avid hunters. We hunt the 3-4 months a year that it's allowed here in Florida. We go out of state, go to Texas. And we're not parents, and we have a big safe at
What are
my
you hunting,
house.
Texans?
We hunt goose, quail,
Goose?
ducks,
Yeah.
deer. And, we have a big safe at the house, and all our
You're out there
hunting
shooting
equipment.
Bambi?
Yes.
Oh.
Sorry, Neil.
Oh, sorry, man.
Be bound, he's gone.
Yeah.
It's hanging on my wall.
Poor Bambi.
But in any case, we are responsible hunters. All our hunting equipment is locked in a big safe that even I fit in it. And, it's just these parents want to be protected. They say in case somebody breaks in case something happens. 95% of the time, the gun is not used for anything but, kids trying to be curious. You're not going to catch a burglar in your house. Very
Well,
rarely
let me
is
ask
that
you
going
this.
to happen.
What kind of an imbecile, if you're that kind of a person that leaves guns in any kind of a place, in a drawer, unlocked, unsecured somehow, that your kids can get a hold of it, what kind of a person does that? How irresponsible can that person possibly be, and how could that person have had the right to somehow reproduce?
Thoughtless.
I'm telling you, those people ought to be castrated immediately just to make sure they don't make any more babies.
Yeah, I think what
Before we
Rosie
put 'em in
O'Donnell
there.
said yesterday, that mothers should get together, everybody should get together against the NRA and put a lot tougher regulations on guns, especially handguns and things that are easily accessible to.
Now, was that before or after she said that was Jerry Springer's fault?
Well, no.
Yeah.
That was flying off the handle
Irrational.
there.
Irrational, a fat dyke.
Just emotional
irrational
there
on the
for a
other.
minute.
Right.
Yeah, but I
Plus,
believe
he's got better
we should
ratings
all
than
stand
she
up against it.
Okay.
And, the other side of it is that we all need to watch each other's kids. There's parents that are just too busy, and unfortunately, both parents have to work nowadays to support the family, and we're not sometimes taking care of our kids and looking after them. And as neighbors, as parents, as cousins, we have the responsibility to watch over somebody else's kid if we see some weird behavior.
Yeah.
So we all need to pay
Well, I'm
attention
hearing
to
that all these
everybody's
explosions
children.
were going off in the neighborhood with these two kids. What did they think it was? The 4th of July, like it was practice or something?
Yeah, honestly, how can
Yeah.
anybody not notice that these kids had a problem?
I mean, they had it on the
It's beyond
website,
me.
Hitler's birthday, something grotesque is going to happen. They threatened the one kid they were going to kill him last year, and nobody did anything about that. They did
There were
everything
so
but put
many
up a
signs.
billboard saying, guess what, we're going to do something really grotesque. And everybody said, yeah, okay.
Yeah, there were so many signs, and
Yeah.
I can't believe nobody cared, and it's
Nobody
everybody's
cared.
responsibility.
Okay. Say
Everybody-
hi to
cool.
Bambi.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Just before he takes his last breath. Oh, I'm sorry, Bambi. Poor Bambi. Oh, he's dead? Okay. 567-0560, pound 560. I mean, how can people shoot a deer? And then they come out, oh, yeah, well, the overpopulation problem. We're doing them a favor. They had an overpopulation problem in China, too. Did we go over and shoot them all? I'm not going to tell you what George said, okay? I won't repeat it, what George just said. I'll just pretend I didn't hear it through the glass. I heard it. Okay, let's go to Miami. Hello.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay, sir.
I agree that a big part of the problem is guns, but I think the bigger part of the problem is that these kids have access to a mainstream education.
What does that mean?
Well,
To a mainstream education?
Well, the two kids in Colorado were arrested, or they broke into a car Once you do something like that, stick them in a special school. Don't let them in a school with normal, well-abiding kids.
So in other words, they could have killed some kids in a special school. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is, like the kid in Kentucky brought a gun to school one time, and they let him back into school after serving his suspension.
Sir, you're absolutely correct. He should never have been let back into school, and in a million years, you're right.
And if you put these kids in a school
he should have been put in a juvenile hall somewhere.
You're right. And if they put these kids in a school with each other, they just kill themselves. Less jail space we need 20 years from now.
Okay, great. Thanks. Let him. See what I said before? That's why he got to it. Yeah, put them in a school with other punks. They broke into a car. They deserve to be shot, right? No. Again, simplistic, ridiculous. Why are we doing this? Why am I doing this to myself again today? I wouldn't have even brought this up other than from that fax from this John guy about, if you woke up with a big black guy with a black ski mask. Yeah, I see that. You whited out you whited it out. Pardon that expression. I mean, if it was a white guy with a black ski mask and a 6-inch knife, I wouldn't be concerned about that. What's that? It's the first time I ever saw Miriam hand you anything that wasn't a check. What is that?
Flexible spending account benefit thing.
Oh, and by the way, George is getting his $200 employee of the month thing on his check this week. Oh, got it. Already got it. He got it. Did Bluff get his desk net? No. Okay, whoever's got George in the office pool, you win. If you bet on Duff's desk, well, you lose. But he's got that cute little high chair in there.
Get down on your hands and knees and lick my boots.
No.
It's erection time.
All right.
Gonna kick off my shoes, strip off my dress. It makes me wet when I see you get a big erection. That's too big for my mouth. I want it mercenary and on top of you, and take it out my lubricated poop suit. Give me an erection. Nails me to the wall. ERECTION. I want to drain your balls. I want to love and volley out you when you shoot your Uzi, and then I'll give it a blow. In the morning it gets as big as this, at least until you take a piss. I want to wrap my lips around your pulsing tube and make your Wonder Worm explode with fluid. That's some erection, and it's uncircumcised. ERECTION. I want to drain your balls.
Maybe he's listening. Ponytail's listening? I don't think so. So Jeff is not over there at the pizza lot on the day where we need lots and lots of pizzas for all our friends because the daughters. It's Bring Your Daughter to Work Day, and Sabrina's here, and Jeff High's daughter is here. And Greg Reed's, just move right along. Greg Reed's daughter is here. Don't start with Jeff High making noises about him and all that stuff, and about how his daughter put on that bratty act over there at Paxson, and about all that other stuff you always talk about. Same old stories, even though they're true, but nevertheless. So we got a dilemma there. What are we going to do about that? Can't
we'll
get
give Jeff
hold of
a chance to call. He might be listening.
Yeah, we'll give Jeff about 5 minutes to call us in if he might be listening now, or somebody get a hold of Ponytail. And if not, we're going to have to get a whole bunch of pizzas from someplace else.
I tried his mobile phone.
It didn't work?
Maybe he's at the gym again.
Maybe he's over to Jeff Rimmer's. Maybe he took Jeff out to lunch. He said, how about tomorrow?
Al Goldstein's in town, Maybe they're out.
Yeah, doing that together. Here's a fact that's kind of interesting. He says, I think it's interesting that all the gun huggers and religionists, as a matter of fact, most right-wingers, need to refer to anecdotes in order to prove their alleged point, such as the fax you received, which said if somebody busted in your home at 3 a.m., et cetera, and so on, wouldn't you wish you had a gun then? Or if you knew you were dying and a minister asked you to accept Jesus, et cetera, and so on. They need to fall back on the anecdotes because they have no facts. As a matter of fact, all the facts are against them. Yes, sir, right, and it goes on and on. Yes, sir, you're right. But don't confuse them with the facts because they don't want to hear from the facts. They don't know from the facts. On other facts. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Weston. Hello.
Yes, good morning, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
Good. I called earlier in the week and explained to you briefly how idiotic some of these callers are that call in here. And that last caller...
You don't have to explain that to me.
Yeah, that was a perfect example of the last caller.
I know a good call from a bad caller. I'm still waiting for a good call.
Well, here's a good call for you. The reason... let me address this issue...
I don't mean today. I mean, period. Go ahead.
This issue with the guns and the kids, I really think the main problem with this, and there's so many different problems, but the main problem with this is the families of today don't communicate with their kids anymore. Their parents, if they have to work, they don't have a relationship with their parents, their grandparents. My parents had a part of my life. Everything that I did, my parents had a part of my life in. I couldn't go into my basement if I had one and sneak 30 bombs down there and make them without my parents knowing anything about it. I couldn't, let alone sneak a girl in my room for 10 minutes. But the problem with this is there's no commitment, there's no communication with families anymore. In regards to the handguns, there's no way you're going to ever eliminate them. It'd be a help if they passed laws to help it out a little. But, the most secure place supposedly in the U.S. nowadays is our jail system, supposedly. Okay? And they're able to sneak things in, guns, knives, form gangs, whatever you want to call it. They're able to do it in there. So there's no way to ever eliminate any of that kind of stuff. But, passing laws will help. It starts in the families and the religion, whatever religion it is. They need to be involved in as well.
No, religion's really doing a great job on it.
Well, I'm not saying they are, but I think it helps to form some kind of base there, not only with the family, but with your religion, whatever religion that may be.
Sir, I couldn't disagree with you more. I don't think that religion's got anything to do with knowing that you don't shoot people. It's just plain common sense.
Yeah.
It's just common decency. All the brainwashing, all the religious bullcrap doesn't change anybody.
Nope, it doesn't. And I don't even have kids yet, Neil, and I don't know what I'm going to do when I do. It's really a shame.
Okay.
But thank you. Have a good day.
See you at the passport office. 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I want to let you know I don't own a gun, and I agree with you 100%. But who is going to stop this? If our government steps in and puts a stop to this, they'll do as good a job as they did with the drug situation. We're infested with that. They do as good a job when they try to stop alcohol. They started prohibition. I think that if they stop the guns, all they're going to do is create a major black market because there's going to be big money.
Like we don't already have one? We already have one.
It'll be worse, Neil. It'll be worse. You don't feel it'll be, I don't think you can eliminate all this crap.
I never said we ought to eliminate all this crap. What I did say is that people have to be responsible with them, and if they're not, they're going to have to be held accountable for whatever happens. If you buy a gun and you leave it out and your kid blows his brains out or somebody else, you're going to have to be held accountable for it.
I'm trying to figure out how all these inner city kids have all these guns available. Like down here, all these drive-by shootings and crap like that. And Uzis, they're not getting them from their parents.
Yeah.
Uzis? I don't understand where these are coming from. So I think it's going to be probably where. I think our country's too far gone already. It's really a shame. And I'm awful glad my daughter is out of school already. It's getting worse and worse and worse. We're in a cesspool. I don't know what the hell's going to happen here.
Okay, I'll see you on the plane. 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How you doing?
Okay, sir.
I got a novel idea here. According to the Constitution, we have the right to bear arms. But nothing says in the Constitution you have the right to bear bullets. So if they restrict the sale...
Okay, great. Guns, there's a good one. Guns don't kill people. Bullets kill people.
Oh!
Right. That's a good point. Oh, boy. Well, he's got a point, He's got a real point. Hollow point. 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Let's go out and kill some deer. Come on, let's shoot Bambi, huh? That'll be some fun. Let's go out and shoot some deer. I'm surprised, I'm surprised Santa Claus can still get around. I'm surprised somebody ain't shot those reindeer yet, That poor Rudolph. No wonder he keeps kissing so much nose. No wonder it's Rudolph the brown-nosed reindeer now. Maybe that's Rimmer's thing, Maybe he learned from Rudolph. If you just kiss enough cottage cheese ass, you'll be safe all the time. Maybe that's what that's all about. 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Guns don't kill people. Bullets kill people. Excellent, sir. Not bad. I like it. There's nothing there that says we have to have loaded guns. You can have guns, even though it says a well-regulated militia, but you can have guns, just no bullets. I likes it. Here's Boca. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I own guns, okay? I'm in 100% agreement with you, though.
Okay.
I used to be a member of the NRA.
Okay.
Not a member of the NRA anymore.
Yeah. Why is that?
Because, well, a couple of years ago when they came out with the Brady Bill, the NRA turned around and they were just flat out against it.
Right.
Okay. Now I agree that it's kind of a feel-good law. But if it would save just one or two lives, hey, why not? The law-abiding citizen, they shouldn't have a problem with the Brady Bill. I don't have a problem with it. Another thing was, if you remember, Bob Dole he was pushing for what was it? He didn't want plastic guns or something, right? And he was with the NRA on this. No, that's right. He said that plastic guns should be allowed. Why would you want a plastic gun, right? So somebody went in to interview Bob Dole, and they snuck in a plastic gun, and he was like, and he pulled it out. He was like, see, I could get this in there without the metal detectors. And Bob Dole, you know, he was all irate and stuff. But the NRA came out, and they were like, well, you can't restrict plastic guns, you know? They're a fanatical society, basically, you know.
They're gun lovers. They don't really, I mean, they'll deny it, but they don't want any restrictions on guns.
No, they
don't.
Them,
everybody could, like, you have a holster on your hip, you know, and just like the old Wild West. That's what they want.
But see, I agree with you 100% that if you do own guns, you have to have them locked up, and you have to take responsibility.
But they don't. Let me say it again. This is like a dog chasing its tail. The American public collectively are not responsible enough to be trusted with guns. They aren't. They just can't do it.
Yeah, well, you know, you have so many of them.
I mean, like I said yesterday, will you give the keys to a car to a 6-year-old kid? Of course not. And that's what they've done with the guns in the hands of these American people. They're lunatics. They're irresponsible.
You know, I'm all for, like I said, you know, there's got to be some kind of testing or anything for, you know, because these people, they don't have a felony, but they'll go out, and first of all, they shouldn't even have kids, but they have guns sitting in the house with the kids.
Yeah.
And the kids will go ahead and get a hold of it, you know. And
every single day, every week of your life, there are kids killing themselves and each other with daddy's gun or somebody's gun that was laying around. Every day.
You have to say to yourself, these people shouldn't be parents, because I have a 2-year-old daughter, and I wouldn't want her to stick her hand in a light socket, so I put things there so they protect it. Well, I sure as heck care enough about her not to leave a loaded gun around. But these people, they just don't think about it. So first of all, they shouldn't even be parents.
Yeah.
They're not responsible enough to have it, so definitely they're not responsible enough to have guns. So believe me, not all gun owners disagree with you.
Okay.
Okay, have a good one.
Yeah.
Bye.
You know, Rosie O'Donnell may have had a bit of a point, even though she didn't realize it. I think you know how we solve this? Part of the problem? We go around surreptitiously, you know, knocking on people's doors, and if they're watching Jerry Springer, immediate forced sterilization, right on the spot. Huh? That would solve a lot of the problem. No questions asked. You know, we have like a little team of doctors. Okay, come on in, guys. Here we go. Snip. Here's a mobile on the alley. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hi. First time caller. Love your show. My point on guns is we're failing to educate our children on curiosity. I mean, kids are going and getting these guns because they're curious. If we go ahead and educate our kids on what the dangers of gun is, and those gun parents that do own guns take kids up to the range and show them what they are capable of, I think we'll eliminate that curiosity for them.
Yeah.
Number two, I think that the government knows that we're all a bunch of lunatics, and I personally think that they don't put or emphasize more restrictions on guns because it's more or less like population control. It is.
Yeah.
You got to look at it this way. If all guns were eliminated, where were all the blacks wouldn't kill all blacks, the whites wouldn't kill the whites, you know?
Yeah.
We'd be overpopulated.
Well, maybe that's an idea. If we got neighborhoods that are overpopulated, maybe the government can just go in and hand out guns and solve the problem pretty fast.
Oh, maybe it's not so much hand out guns, but
yeah, hand them out.
That wouldn't be such a bad idea.
Okay, thanks. There you go. That's going to solve our overpopulation problem. I mean, it's a lot easier than telling people to stop making so many babies and, you know, things like Planned Parenthood, which just the sound of that sounds like a commie pinko conspiracy to me, right? Isn't that a commie pinko?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Planned Parenthood.
Preceding message was furnished by the NFL.
National Felon League. Thank you. It's 11:31 at 560 QM. We got Hank Goldberg at 2. We got Kim Bokamper at 6. Ed Kaplan at 10 o'clock.
Oh!
The odds on things that haven't been invented yet. So we're getting food from Wayne Arnold's. Is that what it is? Because we tried Ponytail, but again, 2 days in a row. You're right. That would be a little bit too much pressure on him. Great guy, by the way, Jeff Cohen. Got some wild stories he'll tell you if you promise not to repeat them. Here's Delray Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil, Uncle Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
Listen, I got 2 reasons. Number one, I'm sick of these hunting people.
There's no reason to be hunting. This is 1999.
Yeah, but Bambi needs some attention, you know.
You need hunting. You go crossbow, bow, and arrow. There's no reason to have a rifle that can shoot from 300 yards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's ridiculous. There's no reason for that. And another quick statement is Wayne. Remember
well, you say they don't want to shoot him from 300 yards. What with your crossbow? What do you do? Like 50 feet away?
Yeah, well, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you use a crossbow.
Get up real close and look at me and say, here's one for you.
Gun.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason to have guns. There really isn't.
Yeah.
Another thing with
Wayne. There's no reason to have bombs. There's no question to have guns, but that's the human effing race for you, man. That's the way we are.
Exactly.
Like
I
the way we
understand that, but the hunting excuse is it's washed out. It's just ridiculous.
Okay.
I got a statement for Wayne.
Yes, sir.
Another thing is when he made that press conference, when he said that he would not play if they built him an arena in Broward.
Right. And
he's been right so far.
He would never lie. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, there's the call of the year right there. Excellent point. They will not play there. Maybe that's the reason, because they haven't played a lick in that arena.
And I'm going to tell you something right now, and you can mark it down.
Okay.
If Broward County would change their mind and decide they wanted to build this facility,
yeah,
I will not play here.
Neither will your team, I guess.
Because I will not have you guys looking at me for the next 10 years saying, here's a guy that said one thing and went out and did something else.
Okay, so I guess we're screwed for like at least another 9 years anyway. Then we can say it. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. That must be John Hennis' daughter. I almost said John, but I won't say that. How you doing, sweetheart? And there's Carlos, and there's everybody. We got the whole... so what's the deal? We got food coming in here or what?
About 40 minutes.
40 minutes. We got Wayne Arnold's coming in. Let's hear it, but it makes me very sad because it makes me think that we won't be seeing our good friend Murray. You think he's in heaven now?
He's in that fast food restaurant in the sky.
Remember in Fatso? He's in heaven now. Now, wasn't he in a piano case, the nephew? He was in a piano case, I think. I'm not talking about Murray. Jesus. I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to go into that again because then that guy will call again. You're promoting your anti-religion agenda. I got so many agendas, man. I better hurry up and talk fast. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yes, they arrested 4 students in Colorado this morning for coming in with trench coats, black trench coats.
Coming in where?
At a high school near Denver.
At what high school near Denver? The high school is closed, sir. Good luck. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT and Baba Booey, by the way. Here's a mobile in North Miami. Hello.
Uncle Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
Good. I want to go back to a caller that called, I guess, about 5 or 6 calls ago. And he made the statement, he'd like to know where people in the inner city and all of these people are getting guns and Uzis from.
Mm-hmm.
Does he live on another planet?
Yes.
He must, because you've talked about it. It's been in the papers millions of times.
Yeah.
That where these guns come from are the gun shows, where you don't have to go through a background check.
Yeah, or the
you can
internet.
walk in with your cash money.
Right.
You can pick up anything under the sun.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised. By the end of the year, we'd probably be able to buy our own nuclear weapons right over the internet. Okay, sir. There he goes. He's a little worked up, and rightfully so. Well, those gun shows, like I said, they run those spots on this show for those gun shows, and I want to make sure you understand I have no control over that whatsoever. And I've always made very, very clear that I find repugnant the whole concept of that crap, but nevertheless, the gun lover's got to have some outlet somewhere. 5, 6, 7. And I noticed, by the way, Ken Jenny, while you're busy busting these swing clubs and everything else where somebody might be touching itself, the gun clubs, I guess they don't bother you, okay, the gun shows? Because guns are good, although wait till he finds out they're a phallic symbol, then he might get really pissed off about that. He might get porked off about it. Fascist Sheriff Ken Jenny. Well, what a loser he turned out to be, huh? It's amazing, before they get in there, it's like, they're one thing, like Alex Penis, he's got to make sure Mickey Harrison don't get a free ride, we're not going to do that. And then all of a sudden he gets elected, and bada bing, he makes a quick right turn at the pass. Well, he's paying for the arena, yeah. For the building of the arena. Who's going to pay for it for the next 100 years, huh? Here's a lady in Aventura. Hello. Boy, this phone is look at that. 4 times I had to put my finger on it, and the phone too. Here's a lady in Aventura. Hello.
Good morning. How are you today?
Okay.
I feel 2 key words are role models. I feel in my day, our parents
You mean
were
like Cecil Collins? Yeah.
were examples of what to follow. Today, the parents aren't. They drink. They take drugs. They're too busy for their children. You have your athletes. You can't even look up to your athletes. Dennis Rodman, Darryl Strawberry. And how about the one that choked his coach? Your movie stars in my day, if they had an affair or something, they were out of Hollywood. What's this with all the, shall we say, fatherless children?
But that's America. That's what I'm telling you. The priorities of this country are upside down. The so-called sports fans of America, they go back to the Latrine Sprewells of the world. We had a guy that called in yesterday and admitted because he signed with the Knicks, which he just got fined $25,000 for opening his mouth and making stupid comments about wanting to be traded. But nevertheless, he went to his team, so all of a sudden he roots for him. See, I can't buy that.
I don't understand.
Admiring scum, you're right. Admiring scum, it filters down to the kids. What kind of a message does that send to the kids? Being a scumbag is a good thing.
You can't even look up to the preachers, all the ones that have been arrested. How about even the president you cannot look up to?
Who?
The president you can't look up to. What role model?
Well, it depends on where you're laying at the time.
Pardon?
I said it depends on what position you're in at the time.
You're right.
You can look up to him.
You're right, but I happen to be standing.
Oh.
And really, and I think the way the children dress today in school has a lot to do with their attitude also.
Yeah.
I think uniforms is good, and I don't own the business.
No uniforms, I'm sorry. We part
don't?
company on that. No uniforms. It conjures up those images of the little brown shirts in Germany, the Hitler Youth. I don't think
I'm against that.
Just because you put somebody in a certain kind of clothing, it doesn't change what's on the inside.
How about a dress code? How about a dress code that they have to adhere to?
I agree with that, and I still want to know how come a bunch of punks in black trench coats were allowed to come to school every day?
Well, I don't think
what kind of a school is that?
I don't think that city paid it, my heart goes out to that families. Please don't judge me on that. But I don't think the families paid attention. Perhaps the families of these children.
Well, somebody had their head in the ground. Somebody was doing the ostrich routine.
Well, what about their families? Are they neo-Nazis if they allow their children to have swastikas in their room?
We'll find out.
I think it's very scary. We're number one in murderous country in the world.
Right.
And we're the richest country in the world.
Well, you got to be number one in something.
We're number one, damn it!
Have a great day, sweetheart.
You too, dear.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We're number one, goddammit, and if it only happens to be in murdering each other, well, you got to be number one in something, right? There you go.
Oh!
The media is sick and needs help badly.
We go that cleanse and throw them the towel. We dine on deep fried spotted owl. We love to fling the dirt in the campaign. We pray a lot in church about who to next besmirch. And Limbaugh only uses half his brain. Jesse Helms is on attack. He hates the nice guy 'cause it's black. And Paula Jones is our new poster dame. We saw Beelzebub of the 700 clubs. And I think that Pat Buchanan was his name.
Yes.
We lean way right and need a cane. We find abortion clinic and then we block the door. We're mostly white and sperm retaining. Here's our big negative, 'cause we lean way right. And we all look and dress the same, and hate the gays in Jesus' name, and fear the things that we don't understand. Richard Nixon was like us. Well, his face could stop a bus. So I think we all should give our dick a hand.
Yes.
In 96 we'll be in swing and beat the Dems like Rodney King. We'll dump the red and blue, just keep the white. Let Limbaugh set us straight. Just don't let it near your place. And hope there's no more books for him to write. We lean way right and need a king. We find abortion clinic and then we lock the door.
Are you?
We're mostly
training. Here's my big magazine of cause we mean we're right.
Thank God it was only in Nazi Germany they had skinheads. 1247 at 560 WQAM on a really bizarre Thursday. That's all I can say. It's bizarre. Huh? Yeah, I'm just feeling bizarre. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I mean, we should be talking about important things, you know, like the NFL draft post-mortem. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil, God.
Yes, sir.
Oh, good afternoon. These deer hunters, they are just a pain in the ass. What is the purpose?
That's what Bambi said.
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine you're just out there grazing, eating a little grass, and the next thing, bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom, yeah. Here's one for you, Bambi. Here's another one just in case.
It's like hunting, you know, a big dog or something. It's not that much of a sport or a challenge. Hey,
I just wonder what kind of a person it takes to shoot a deer. You know, seriously, wouldn't you like to sit down across a table, I mean, maybe far across the table, and look a person in the eye who can go out and shoot a deer?
Oh, I mean, I'm not going to be such a hypocrite. I've ate it before. I grew up in Michigan. I know you did some time in Michigan.
I didn't have any time in Michigan, but,
you know what I mean.
Not yet.
You know how popular it is up there with them crazies up there.
Those deer killers, yeah.
Man, I've had it. But
deer killers, baby killers.
All right, another question real quick.
How was the deer? Tasty?
Yeah, it depends on how you cook it.
A little bit gamey?
Yeah, a little gamey.
Not gamey?
Yeah. Wendell Clark, has he ever won a Stanley Cup?
Wendell Clark, no.
I didn't think so. Okay, and Chelios, I know. Chelios did all his time.
I don't want to hear his name. I can't stand him. He makes me ill. I cannot stand him. Stevie Eiserman, hat trick last night, by the way.
Eh?
And like Brian Murray said, too bad he's too small to ever be a great player. That's Stevie Eiserman, yeah. Nice going, Brian. What do you think they call him, BM? Okay, go Leafs go, pal. There you go. Don't want to get sidetracked on that hockey stuff. That Buffalo-Ottawa game, pretty good last night. Dominic Hasek, he made one in particular, but he made several saves that were spectacular, but one that was just unbelievable, like on a 2-on-1 situation right in front, and they passed it across the goal mouth to the open man on the other side, and he got over there. I have no idea how, why, just unbelievable. He is spectacular, the dominator, the whatever he is. But you don't care about that, do you? No. You're still worried about, did the Bears get a running back? Don't get yourself started talking about that stuff again. You're going to get very aggravated. Okay. No, seriously, I'm thinking to myself, talk about narrowcasting, even of the sports nerds. How many people listening to this radio station during the sports hours could really give a flying crap if the goddamn Minnesota Vikings or the Chicago Bears got a, free safety, if they got a, whatever they got? Huh? How many, we're narrowing it down to a precious few. It's a miracle we get the numbers we do on this station. Because they let these callers call in with such narrow, like, who cares? Do those guys play here?
No.
Anywhere around here?
No.
See, I'm getting carried away again. You're right. Like Hank says, we need more teamwork. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Yeah, you know what I'm sick of is all these left-wing wackos out there trying to tell everybody.
Left-wing wackos, yeah.
Yeah, like your last caller, trying to tell everybody what to do, what to think, what they can do.
I thought that was the right-wing wackos telling everybody what to do.
No, and this guy, look, I'm against
yes.
I don't.
Yes. Let me say it again. The left-wing wackos don't tell anybody what to think or what to do. It's the right-wing wackos telling us what we can read, what we can watch.
That's what you just try to put out there.
No, so that is not what we try to put out. That's the fact. I mean, you can say this and people will just laugh at you. Anybody with a brain knows that's not true.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the left is right now. Oh, no doubt about it.
The left is right and the right is left and never the twain shall meet. There you go. That's right. It's all those leftist commie pinkos. Those are the ones invading everybody's bedrooms, trying to censor movies and books, burning down abortion clinics. Those are all left-wingers, right? Huh? Am I right? Yeah. And this guy was serious. That's the best part. See, again, you're another one of those clones, pal. They must stamp you out in the factory. An ideologue, a right winger, a left winger, a middle winger, a no winger, a center, a defenseman. We could use a good center, by the way, in the Panthers. Let's get Marty Straka back. I said to Rimmer last night, how do you like to have Straka back at center between Ray Whitney and Pavel Bure? And he said, yeah. Of course, he's just an ass-kisser anyway, so he might not have liked that idea. You know Jeff Rimmer?
What's going to happen with that radio job in your...
Here's a mobile in the Gables. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, for these people that believe that this can't happen in their school, I'm sure you remember back in...
Who believes that?
that these shootings won't happen in the school.
But who would believe that now at this point? Now that we know it can happen.
I know people that says, well, they're just isolated incidents. You got to look.
And not only did it happen in the school, but they were able somehow to plant these 30 explosive devices in the parking lot, and most of them inside the school. How were they able to do that? What were they doing? Like in their after hours? How did they do this?
Lack of supervision.
Somebody wasn't paying any attention.
But what I was going to tell you that, you remember back in '86 they had a shootout at Pinellas Park High School, and that's where I went to school. I was there at the time. I can imagine what these kids are going through. I was on the other side of the concourse when some kid, because he got an F, blew away the dean, blew away a cafeteria worker, shot a human resource officer, and wounded 2 students. And and I still think about that even now. Every time I see one of these things, I just cringe.
Kids with guns. Kids with guns. I mean, can you think of anything scarier in the world than kids with guns, except maybe kids with nuclear weapons, which probably won't be far off?
Well, I can tell you what also is just as bad. I'm from Arkansas in Virginia, and up there, believe it or not, they wonder why, because they actually petitioned the state legislature to be able to use AK-47s for deer hunting and animal hunting.
Yeah.
Why do you need that kind of firepower?
How about an Uzi?
That's probably the next step.
I mean, you don't want to just wound Bambi and leave him lying there bleeding to death. That would be cruel and unusual punishment. I want to make sure he's dead or in a doornail.
I guess they just want to blow away the rest of the deer, so all that's left is the antlers.
There you go. Well, hey, they make nice trophies on a mantle. Have a great life, sir. They look really good up there. They make you real butch and macho, man. Like like people that take home the big fish, and they hang it up. You don't even eat it. They keep it as a trophy. Hey, look at this. I got me the big one. I got me the big one. Man, oh man. See, guys who really have a big one, that's, they have a trouser trout. But guys who don't have any trouser trout, they got to go out and get the big one with a fish hook or a gun. Not that, I don't care what you do within reason. Just leave reasonable people alone and animals, etc. Do no harm. Oh, I'm sorry, we can't do that. That woman before that called about going out hunting deer, she just depressed the hell out of me. I mean, not that I'm naive or not that do what you want, sweetheart. It's legal. And I hope you sleep real well tonight and in the nights to come, and I'm sure you do, because it's, it's in your blood. Shooting little defensive animals like that. Did I say defensive, defenseless? Little animals, beautiful animals like that. Shooting them. Putting them out of their misery, because they're overpopulating. Well, they're overpopulating all over the world. Should we go around and shoot them too? Yeah. Oh, somebody already suggested that. How about we stop the overpopulating? The Pope would be pissed off, but other than that. See, one thing you fail to understand that nobody wants to talk about is this is a country, you can remember, it used to be 100 million people. All of a sudden, I can remember the world used to be less than 2 billion people. Now there's 5 billion. It's teeming with people. And this country that used to be 100 million, now it's 260 million people. It won't be long before it's 300 million people. Lots and lots more people, lots and lots more problems, no resources, no time, no interest, no energy to take care of people and their problems and to look at these things. So now we got like teeming people and stuff. I mean, it's just a numbers game. If you have 1 billion people, there's going to be some crazy people. There's going to be some dangerous people. But let's just keep reproducing like rabbits, like cockroaches, and let's just keep listening to all those fetus huggers. Oh, my God, that fetus! The fetus lovers. The crazy people. Throwing themselves in front of, buses, in front of police paddy wagons, throwing themselves on the ground to save the nebulous unborn fetus. But the people who are alive, do they care about them?
No.
No. They have anything to say about the thing that happened in Denver?
No.
No. They only care about unborn life. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if some of them are like saving some sperm. Huh? I'm not going to tell you where they're getting them or how. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
It puts the bullet in the...
Yeah, okay, great. Very funny. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
What kind of role model is a faggot radio host?
I don't know. Why are you listening, sir? You're learning something about life. You learning something about life from this show, sir?
I'm learning about faggots.
Good. Well, you'd be great. We're going to be having several more of mine, by the way, before most of them from your neighborhood, by the way. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Aventura, hello. Aventura.
Hey, Neil, how you
See,
doing?
when faggots shoot each other, they have to go on a Jenny Jones show first. Pretty good, sir.
Let me tell you something. You got some real winners calling up. That guy with the population control theory, that guy is really nuts, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, how about this last spook that just called? He's a genius.
Yeah, well, he's just a prejudiced idiot. Let me tell you
Oh.
something. This country it's a wonderful country. I love this
No,
country.
it's not. It's a slaughterhouse. It is not a wonderful. Why
It's
do you
a slaughterhouse,
Why do you
you're
feel
right.
compelled to say it's a wonderful country? It's not a wonderful country. It's a barbaric slaughterhouse. sir. And you
Compared
don't have to compare to what?
Compared to a
like
lot
civilized countries? No, wrong. Where
to
have
a
you
lot
been?
of the countries
Where
that-
have you been?
Let me finish.
I'm listening. Where
Let
have
me
you been?
finish. We suffer from one problem.
Why you don't want to answer that question? What other countries
I'm
have you
going to
been
answer
to?
it. Let me
well,
finish.
I'm listening.
Let me finish. We suffer from one problem, and
Yeah.
that is that we think we know everything,
Uh-huh.
and we think we know how to do things right. We
Where-
could take a clue from European countries like England, where hand-arms are illegal.
Have you been there?
Yes, I have.
Uh-huh.
And the bobbies walk around without guns,
With
and there's
nightsticks,
no
yes.
gun problems, and
Very
there's no,
little, yeah.
and it's a democracy,
Mm-hmm.
and people are living their lives.
Yeah, although
without
they don't
the
have
fear
that's
of
a bad
having to walk
example
down
because
the
they have no
street
freedom
and
of
get their
speech. They have no
head blown
First Amendment right, but that's safer. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what
We
you
could
mean.
look-
Thank you. Okay, 12:57 at 560 WQAM. Don't miss the biggest automotive event of the year. See, sir, I would let you go on, but we got important commercials to do now, and on this radio station, commercials far supersede any stuff you may have to say. Even if you got the cure, to cancer, the solution for all the problems in the world, we got spots. Okay, sir. So I apologize.
Sports Radio 560, WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
All right. Well, I think the time is right for me to touch my body. One part there on my body is just giving me a clue. So I gotta look twice and find myself a hideaway. And I know one good hideaway, and that's my bathroom. Oh, I'll find my Playboys and creamy lotion. Put the towel right down on the floor. Oh, I'll put my wrist action in that slow motion. And I pray that no one accidentally opens up the door. 'Cause I gotta masturbate. I gotta masturbate.
All right.
Yeah, I gotta masturbate, debate. I gotta masturbate, debate.
You and all the school parent groups about the country, and you must stand united on this and stamp out this frightful assassin of our youth. You can do it by bringing about compulsory education on the subject of narcotics in general, but red marijuana in particular, because it is only through enlightenment that this scourge can be wiped out. Out of the traffic in these drugs, a lawlessness that we can scarcely estimate has grown and is now flourishing. It exists in almost every city and hamlet in the country. I received a letter of vital importance from a member of the Narcotics Bureau. I'm going to read this letter to you. My dear Dr. Carroll, the suppression of the use of marijuana and of the forces lurking behind it are the most important jobs this department is now engaged in. The weed marijuana is grown in every state in the Union. The dried leaves and berries are ground up and made into cigarettes by a simple hand machine. The deadly narcotic is thus quickly and easily prepared for its market. The sale of marijuana is even more difficult to detect and halt than the traffic in drugs such as opium, morphine, and heroin. And more vicious, more deadly, even than these soul-destroying drugs, is the menace of marijuana. No doubt many of you do not believe that these things do happen, but they cannot happen to you. You may also believe that the facts have been exaggerated. Let me tell you of something that happened right here in our own city. You probably read about it in the paper.
Deliciously different marijuana. Deliciously different marijuana.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. We don't want to piss anybody off, but we do have some great brownies coming in for all the kids in the building today. It's 12:04 at 560 WQAM. Huh? What's wrong with being a little brownie hound? Okay, let's go back to in fact, it's going to be tomorrow. They're going to be smoking the wicked weed here in the building. Here's them on the air. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello, Neil. How
Yes,
are you?
sir. Okay.
My idea of gun control is being able to hit your target.
Yeah, great. Okay, here you go. Bend over. Right in his rectum. Shot, Neil. Thank you. 5670560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Here's Plantation. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Interesting fact of the day.
What is it?
Interesting fact of the day. Now that Columbia Hospital can't steal from the government.
Okay, 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Retards, they let them out for lunch hour, I think. It's the retard hour. Okay? Huh?
Okay.
Here's Dania Beach. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Boy, you got a group today.
Every day. It's what makes it real exciting, man.
Listen,
which retard will it be today?
Did you hear one of the solutions of the problem? I think Mr. Heston, did you hear what he had to say on the radio today?
Mr. Heston?
Charles Heston.
Oh, yeah.
He was saying how
that old
now,
grizzly fascist?
He's saying that the schools should have armed security guards now.
Right.
In
with
the schools.
Uzis, right. How about if every teacher is armed? That would be good.
Well, the other thing is I can't...
How about, I got news for you. Let me ask you something, because I mentioned about how the first time I went to Rome, I saw the soldier standing in the middle of the road with an Uzi on his shoulder.
Yeah.
How about if we had an armed guard in every classroom, standing right there with an Uzi?
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
But, I mean, what I can understand in this town where it happened...
Yes.
These people, the law enforcement, the educators, the guidance counselor, they all must have been on another Star Trek world or something. I mean, it just seems like how could they not have...
Maybe they were listening to too much oblivious Newton-John music. That may have been the problem.
They just seem so clueless. It just seems like they had too many signs.
You got to understand, there are 1,800 kids in that school. So, like I said before, when you're dealing with the vast, massive numbers game we are in America today, everybody's just another number. Whether it's at the bank, at school, wherever it is, everybody's just another number.
Well, I think that we should spend our money on the old, the sick, and on the young.
Okay.
All right, buddy.
Okay. And I'm getting there fast, and I don't mean young. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Yeah, I mean, they got important stuff there, like when Andrew Cunanan came down here, before he shot Gianni Versace right there in the head, and also got that dove at the same time. And, he goes into the pawn shop, takes out his passport, gives him his real name, he signs his real name, gives him the address at the Normandy Hotel where he's staying at, and, the thing goes to the police and it sits there under I realize now they've changed that because it was bad publicity for that to get out. Just kind of sat around for a few days till they got around to kind of looking at those things, all these things. We're just overwhelmed. We're overwhelmed. It's a numbers game. Too many crazy people, too many babies, too many crazy babies, that's it. That's what America's all about. Just spawn out of control. And maybe that's why human life is so meaningless, because we got so many more. If they kill a bunch of kids, there's always a bunch more come along. Here's a mobile in Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Neil?
Okay, sir.
Hey, listen, guns are already out of control. And, you were kidding when you said it, but, sooner the teachers are going to have to start carrying guns, and I think that would be a deterrent.
Yeah, right on their waist.
You think they would have killed all those
I think a
kids?
holster on every shoulder would be the answer, sir.
Absolutely correct.
Right. Okay, thank you. There you go. There's the answer, folks, right here on this show. You heard it first. Just arm your teachers, baby. Kid throws a spitball, won't do it again, I'll tell you that. Kid farts real bad in class. Oh, there you go, Johnny. You won't be doing that no more, stinking up the classroom. Huh? And then, of course, we know that the kids would never, get the gun away from the teacher. But, too bad. That should teach you better control of your gun. Don't let those little punky kids get a hold of it. I got a better idea. How about if we let the kids and the teachers have guns? Now you're talking. Now you talk about the standoff at the not-so-okay corral.
Crazy people.
Neil got out WQAM, where the faggot is.
I did this former heavyweight champion of the world, Mike Tyson, with a legal words for the day. The word is hung jury. Hung jury. That's the 12 real popular men. Ain't it done? Ain't it done?
It's 12:13 at 560 WQAM. Happy Thursday to you. We got the Hank Goldberg show coming up at 2. Is he in studio today? Do we know? We don't know. Because I got the schedule. I don't know. I better not say it. I don't want to say I got the schedule for next week in here, but the one for this week vanished. But because then he'll be running in here again. Maybe he's out to lunch. Lobster. Pussy galore. Hank will be on at 2. We got Kim Bocamper at 6 and Kaplan 10 tonight. No ball game today. Oh! Marlins lost again last night 4-0. Does anybody care about that?
No.
They'll be back home tomorrow. The Braves. Anybody?
No.
Okay. Sorry. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil. I think that's a racist commercial, that Rolling Rock. He doesn't like brown things.
Uh-huh.
But, I'm not a hunter and I don't own any handguns, but I think there's a problem when people that like enjoy eating animals like I do, like beef or chicken or whatever.
Oh yeah, but don't you understand? They're lightly killed. Like Monty Python would say, they're lightly killed, man. No, I don't.
I didn't.
Don't bring it in here. Don't let him come through that door. I don't want it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know from it. Okay, have a great day, sir. I know what he's saying. Yeah, I love meat. I love a great steak at Ruth's Chris. Somebody killed that damn steer, you know? Somebody gave you a bum steer. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, how can you go out? I mean, the animals, you know, they suck them in and all of a sudden they chop their heads off. And they can smell the smell of death. They smell the death in front of them while they're on that line. Out there in Chicago and Kansas City. Come on, boy. Here you go. Oops.
Use that bolt gun.
Bolt gun?
Bolt gun. Pow, right in the head.
They do?
It puts a bolt into their head and pulls it back out again.
I thought they chopped their heads off.
Eventually.
Oh, they don't do that right away?
No, the bolt gun is, it's air-powered. It's fast.
Yeah. And what if they have bad aim? What if they...
Oh, they better do it again.
Do it again and again. Kind of like the bullfights, it sounds like. Of course, that's a Spanish thing. Anyway, where are we going? Let's go.
The bull has a chance there.
Oh, yeah, the bull's got a chance.
If
yeah, he's got a real chance.
They go free. They get put out to stud.
They do?
Yeah, and it happens often.
How about the picador?
You don't get none.
Isn't that's the Spanish glory hole. It's called a picador. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
Last caller said that you wanted more security in the schools, more cops.
He said arm the teachers, arm everybody. Look at them all go.
Kidding? We already have a police state.
Yeah.
We have a cop at every corner.
Point. That's the point. This guy wants guns, teachers, students, cops, paramilitary.
We have cops in schools already.
Skinheads, yeah.
And then we got City Miami cops over in downtown Miami giving people tickets for jaywalking.
Right.
I don't.
And we got all kinds of cops out there with their radar guns giving you a ticket for going 8 miles over the speed limit, right?
I mean, they get paid.
We got a whole FHP force that does nothing but write speeding tickets, right?
I don't get that, you know.
I know. Well, it's a police state, pal. You better.
How can you be? Let me ask you. How can you be for forced abortion and then against guns?
Who said forced abortion? Who said that?
Yeah, didn't you want
I said forced sterilization.
Okay, forced sterilization.
Sterilization precludes the need for abortion.
How can you be for that and then against guns?
Well, what does that mean?
I mean, you're taking care of the population either way.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you. Great. There you go. Good concept. Yeah. Brilliant. Another rocket scientist. 567-0560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Genius. Another moron. Here's Kendall. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Did you read today's Herald?
As much as I could stomach, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I just want to read you one last line here. It says here, to clarify a point which alleges that we need to focus on gun safety, we already do. The school system has a comprehensive curriculum for preventing gun violence. Demetrio Perez. He is the vice chairman of the school board.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is in Dade County.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the one who wants to close schools up so kids can't go out to lunches, but he will have local vendors come to the fence so they can bite through the fence. He wants to lock them up at the schools.
Thanks for the good news. Okay, thank you. Whatever he said. Demetrio Perez, well, that's one of your people. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
Okay.
All right. A caller yesterday was you were talking about God and how you don't believe in God and Antichrist or whatever you were saying. You remember?
Yeah.
Okay. I got a few questions for you. Do you believe in God?
No. Well, you just got through saying I said I don't believe in God. Now you're asking do I believe in God. Is this like is that a rhetorical question? I mean, of course not.
Why do you call yourself Neil God?
Because it's a joke.
Okay.
I mean, aren't there people who say, oh, you don't, when you see somebody that you like, you say, oh my God, look at that. You know,
that's what I'm saying.
God,
why do you say, oh my God?
Because it's a manner of speech.
Right.
It's an expression. It doesn't mean a damn thing. It's just the words, you know?
Well, you're saying you don't believe in God, then you're talking about your God.
Okay, putz. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line.
How does he know who your God is?
I guarantee it ain't him unless maybe he sends a picture. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. I mean, some people have got certain gods. Other people got other gods, right?
Brad Pitt God.
There you go. I won't argue with that. Maybe a few years ago. That guy, Al Kelly, I think, is dead. The double talker. That kid ought to see if he can get his job. Oh, by the way, you know who died yesterday? I forgot to talk about it. Who I saw live and in person, and who was great many, many years ago. Who was like the lead act for the Judy Garland concert at Radio City Music Hall in New York many, many, many years ago. He died. You know how old he was?
Really? Senior Wences?
Yes.
No way.
You know how old he was?
90.
Try again.
95.
Try again.
102.
Close. One more year.
103.
Absolutely correct, sir.
Yeah.
I just pulled that out of my ass.
Well,
really?
he just
Senior
pulled it out of his, yeah. And he didn't even have any puppets. He just had his hand with a blonde wig on it and some lipstick on his,
In the box?
In the box, yeah. Satire. Yeah. He was great. He was great.
Great.
And the best part of it is his lips moved and he didn't care. You saw him doing a thing and nobody cared. He was great. He was better than that neurotic Judy Garland, as I recall. I was a little kid when we went to New York to see that, but boy, he was fantastic. Senior Wences. Satire. He's dead. 103, not bad. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one. Hey, listen, God don't give us a whole bunch of years, that God that these people are all talking about. You got to do the best you can in a very limited amount of time. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil, how
yes,
you
sir.
doing?
Okay.
I think I figured out why these trenchcoat mafia kids started bucking shots at the teachers.
They weren't shooting at the teachers, sir. There was only one teacher that got shot. But then again, probably somebody would have to read that to you in the newspaper. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Somebody want to go over to his house and read him the newspaper so we know what was going on?
No.
Oh, okay. I tried, pal. Couldn't gain but any takers. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes,
How
sir.
You doing?
Okay.
Hanging up the phone, you break my concentration. There's so many things you talk about.
All these things, yeah.
Hey, Neil, when I was growing up in high school, there wasn't a big high school. You knew just about everybody in this school. And
Yeah.
if somebody was troubled, everybody knew it.
Mm-hmm.
And they stayed away from them. Why? You're right. With the numbers of people in these schools, there's got to be one crazy person in there.
1,800 kids in this school.
There's got to be one crazy one in there.
They were talking about some school in L.A. where they put in metal detectors, but they're having a problem because they got 4,000 kids go to that school, and it takes like forever and ever, so they only can do random searches because they got 4,000 students in a school. Can you imagine?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's why there's so much trouble. And then the parents, the parents are so damn busy. When the kids get home, they don't care anyway. They come home from work, they go to bed, they go to work. And that's,
See, I mean, in countries like China or Japan, where the people are brought up with very, very strict morals and the very strict ideals and respect for human life and respect for other people, then no matter how many people they had, like when they had, 2 billion people in China, it didn't make any difference because they all goose-stepped in the line, but here we're not too good at getting people to goose-step in the line.
No. Our biggest
So maybe
problem
we can put them all in uniforms and just have them goose-step in the line.
No, it's crazy. Why don't, if they would be able
I'm
to
saying
slap
America Uber Island.
your kid on the butt because he's doing something wrong again, maybe things would change, but that's never going to happen.
No. It's the American effing way, man.
Yes, sir.
It's a slaughterhouse. And it's appropriate that they're slaughtering the cattle because it is a slaughterhouse. Okay,
Right.
hang in there, pal.
See ya.
Okay.
Bye.
See you on the firing range. What?
I'm supposed to correct myself. They don't use the bolt gun anymore because it shatters the skull.
What do they do?
They can't make head cheese out of it then.
Oh, I don't want to hear about head cheese. I mean, we're going to
electrocution.
be eating lunch shortly. I don't want to see head cheese, much less hear about it.
So now they zap.
Could you tell me what's in head cheese, by the way? Oh, no, don't. I'm sorry, I asked. Now, what is it? What do they use?
They electrocute them now.
With a what? Do they make them sit down in the chair? Do they have like a separate electric chair for each one? And they put that little beanie on their head like they do on Death Row, like with Ted Bundy. They shave their heads, and they put a little beanie on there. And the cow goes, "Oi!"
The priest reads them the right.
Yeah. Does he say, "Manish dana halala hazeh"? Yeah.
Oi!
Yeah, you're right. The guy that called about that before, you're right. But I can't be one of those tree huggers, one of those vegetarians. I like my steak. I like my meat. I love my meat. And a good steak ain't bad either. 567-80560 and pound 560 on a mobile one line. I got a little carried away, I get emotional when I think about all these things. And why not? Here's a mobile in South Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Great.
Two things. I think it's amazing how everyone has a solution to this problem.
They're all experts, man. I come on yesterday, I said, I don't have any answer. It's out of control. It's hopeless. And these people, everyone has got an answer.
We got to put a tank at every school, this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
And then there was a guy, I don't know if you saw CNBC last night on Dateline, I believe it was.
No.
but they had an expert. The guy was an expert in school security.
Yeah.
They go, okay, so what do you think? He goes, well, we need metal detectors in every grammar school, elementary school, and high school.
Mm-hmm.
And then they proceeded to say, this guy owns the company that puts metal detectors
Oh, what
in
a
schools.
surprise that is. And like I said, schools that have like 1,800 kids, like the school out there in Littleton, Colorado, or like the one in L.A. that's got 4,000 kids, what do? Get there 3 in the morning so that by 8:30 or 9 when the first class starts, everybody could be passed through the metal detector and then maybe get home by midnight?
It was amazing. They go 16,000 for one unit. Then they cut back to this other guy and said the average high school in the United States has 62 to 88 doors on it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, give me a break. I mean, no one knows. The problem is there's no easy solution.
Okay. And have a great day. Of course there's no easy solution. It's out of control. It's out of hand. It's a barbaric country where the people, unfortunately, far too many of them don't have any values. They have no respect for human life, and the rest of the public are sitting back going, you know what they're saying? Yeah, because they're like desensitized to it. The grave-robbing media has said, like, oh, hey, here's another juicy story. Let's all start hyperventilating. It's just, it's just another TV story. It's grotesque and tragic, and there's a lot of blood, and it's real, but you know it's real, do you? It really, and they're going, like that. But be that as it may. Be that as it may. Oh, but it's the movies and the TV shows, and like I keep telling you, all these European countries I travel to, the very same movies and the very same TV shows, they're all on there, and nobody's killing each other. Wonder why that could be, huh? You think maybe those people might have respect for human life?
Uh-huh.
Maybe they know a little bit better than your kids,
Uh-huh.
Huh? Maybe they've had a little bit better upbringing?
Uh-huh.
That might just be it. No, that couldn't be it, huh? Could there possibly be somebody better than America?
No.
I mean, that guy that called before, he was my favorite of the whole year so far. America's a great country, and I said, yeah, well, why? Like that. I'll tell you one thing, it's a great day when Wayne Arnold's people show up. Thank you, gentlemen. God bless you. There's our friends from Wayne Arnold's bringing us lunch for everybody in the building. Thank you, Hudson. You're a great American, sir. And give Wayne a big kiss for us, but not in front of the customers. So anyway, what are we doing? 1226 at 560 at WQAM. Oh, geez, it's not going to be meat in that box, is there? Because then we must kill some animals. I apologize to the lady who's deer hunting. I can't, I don't want to think about it. I know that you're not doing it because you're a mean, nasty bitch and you want to go out there and shoot some defenseless, beautiful little animal. But, Bambi was a very heart-wrenching movie that I saw 100 years ago, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, okay. Like I said, have a good time. 1226 at 560 WQAM. Now, it's a little squirrel. You don't want to shoot a squirrel, do you?
No.
I mean, you can't eat a squirrel. Do they eat squirrel?
No.
Oh, fat. They're like loaded with rabbis and all kinds of diseases.
Holy Mackinac! This is Joe Bowen, the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you're listening to the Hockey Authority, Neil Goff.
All right.
Tired of the same old flavors of yogurt? Cherry, strawberry, banana, peach, blueberry. Well, look out, taste buds. Prepare yourself, palate, for Crewdson's Trout on the Bottom yogurt.
Trout on the bottom, fresh water. Trout on the bottom, oh rainbow. Trout on the bottom, fresh water. Trout on the bottom, oh rainbow.
Crewdson's new Trout on the Bottom yogurt, combining the delicious attributes of yogurt with hearty chunks of rainbow trout. No frills, no gills, just great taste. Crewdson's Trout on the Bottom yogurt, regular and de-eyed.
Okay, it's 12:31 at 560 WQAM. Thanks to Hudson and our buddies over at Wayne Arnold's for bringing a great lunch for us and for all the people in the building and the daughters that came in today, like Sabrina and everybody else. Oh, I thought you were bringing something else in here. So at any rate, well, you never know, okay? It never hurts to wonder. But, of course, a lot of animals had to die to make our lunch today. Let's have a couple of moments of silence for the animals that we don't want to have any.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. 567. And by the way, it says, Wayne says hello. He's been elected Lieutenant Governor of
Kiwanis.
Oh, you spoiled it. You're supposed to say Florida, and then I go,
No.
Broward County?
No.
Dade County?
No.
Kiwanis. The politically astute Wayne Arnold, who has a Ted Kennedy picture on one window and a Jeb Bush picture on the other window.
No.
Covering all sides, they call it. And when you're as big as Wayne, you can cover all sides just with your body. Nice going, Wayne. He's the Lieutenant Governor of Kiwanis. Oh! He can probably look real cute with that Kiwanis cap on, 567-0560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. We're having a very educational day today. We learned for the first time that it's the left-wingers who are trying to censor everything you read and burn books and movies and everything else. It's the left-wingers, not the right-wingers. The left-wingers are the ones who are trying to tell everybody how to live. How about that? The bedroom police, the pleasure police, those are the left-wingers. You believe that? Yeah, that's what the guy said. Yeah, a lot of poor animals had to die. A little piggy went to market, he's dead. Look at this. All these animals that had to die to make our lunch possible today. Christ. Anybody ever have any good squirrel? Huh? How come they don't eat squirrel? Because they're all rabid? Is that it? I wonder if any
squirrel.
They do eat squirrel?
Stu
eats squirrel? Maybe that's why we traded his ass out of here. Boy, he sure ain't doing nothing. Here is a Lady Mobile in the Keys. Hello.
Hi. I'm calling to tell you, and I know there are no solutions to everything, but I think the parents are really who's to blame in this situation.
Maybe.
I don't understand how
I have to wonder how they were making all these bombs right there in the basement, and parents thought that they were had an erector set or something there. I don't know what they thought they were doing.
Or playing parties. I don't understand.
Okay, your phone crapped out. Call me back, sweetheart. Your phone crapped out. Died. Try to call me back. 5670560 pound 5. Yeah, maybe they were playing Parcheesi down in the basement. Maybe they were playing with each other, which would have been an improvement, by the way, over building La Bamba. There had to be an awful lot of people looking the other way. Nobody knew from nothing. Like I said, when you got all these people, all these things, all these problems, you're overwhelmed. You don't have the resources. And, of course, by the way, it's also the right-wingers who don't want to allot the money to have resources for human needs. God forbid, we take care of these things. They'd rather spend all that money on building more big bombs and more big weapons, et cetera, and yada, 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 okay? For their military-industrial complex, for their establishment. That's what they want to do. More and more goddamn money for crap. To kill people, but not to take care of real living and breathing people. All they care about, as long as you take care of the fetus, then we'll worry about it, the living people later on. Here's Boca. Hello? Boca.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Boca.
Speaking.
How about, is this Neil?
That's the last time I checked.
Hello?
Who's this, the caller? Let's go to Boca. Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about the school out there in Denver.
Yes?
I got a good plan for the funeral for
I'll
the
bet.
two guys.
Great. 5670560 pound 560 on the mobile one line. Did I cut that guy off?
Yes.
Bet your sweet ass I did. And of course, the fact that he was a little slow in the beginning should have tipped me off. That I don't think so. Here's Pompano. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
When I was a kid, I moved from one school to another, from like the city to the suburbs, and they put me in like these AP classes because maybe the original school might have been a little bit ahead of the one out in the suburbs. And there were these really nerdy kids in the AP classes, and they happened to be really, really nice kids. I was in their classes for about 2 years. One of them taught me how to play the guitar. Another one, they were just really wonderful people, but they looked kind of strange and nerdy. Okay, now, when I left their classes and as we went through high school, people picked on these people. I had to step in. Like, I had a couple of fights when I moved from my first neighborhood to the other neighborhood, and I was so frightened to death. Somehow I won those fights. I don't know how, but I was frightened to death, and then people kind of accepted me. Like, oh, look, there's a guy who could take care of himself. Well, in reality, I was really nervous as hell and frightened. But these kids who I went to school with, it's like everybody was like looking to fight them. I had to step in and stop fights once in a while. They were getting beat up. Now these kids, a lot of them, you could tell they formed these little clique groups, and they were loners, and they were and basically it was because everybody was being mean to them. And I could see very easily, nobody's addressing it, that these kids might
So in other words, if somebody's mean to you, then you ought to go out and build a bunch of bombs and get some guns and blow their crap away. Is that what you're saying, sir?
No, you shouldn't do that. But I think what it does is it creates a little, like these little groups of three. They get weird. They feel insecure.
Yeah.
And from having such bad feelings, I think that these things pop into their head.
Record. Okay, thank you, sir. Feelings, da-da-da-da-da-da. You got bad feelings? Throw them away, baby. Let's play that bit. I think that's probably sums it all up right here.
The following is a paid public service announcement from the International Rifle Association.
Let's face it, most of us will never be rich. Hell, we probably won't even be successful, and that's pretty damn depressing. But, as usual, with every problem, there is a solution. Hi, I'm Jim, and I'm here to tell you a little something about handguns. They scare the shit out of people, intimidate them into giving you whatever you want. That's right, handguns. Think about it. Need some cash? Rob a bank. Don't have enough money for beer? Pull up a convenience store. Take some chips and pretzels while you're at it. It's all free if you've got a handgun. Some son of a bitch cheating on your girlfriend? Kill him. It's a simple solution to life's complex problems. All you have to do is wait the 5 days for it, and happiness is just around the corner. Hell, if you don't want to wait the 5 days, who cares? Buy the damn thing off the street. Just buy a lot of handguns. It's a great alternative to working problems out and can be considered a population control. Yes, handguns. They just might make you famous.
Hey, what, you hear what he said? Just like that guy said before. Great population control. There you go. Wow. Yeah, they're being picked on. Okay, oh, John, he's picking on me. They're picking on us at school. So there you go. That's the American effing way, man. Like you said before, the exchange students all want to know, how come everybody's so angry over here? What are they angry about? They have so much. What are they angry about? What are they all pissed off about? Maybe because they were brought up to be a bunch of spoiled little brats. Maybe their parents were too indulgent and didn't smack up the side of the head every now and then, say, cut the crap, and learn to appreciate what you got. Like Sabrina in there, who's probably smarter than most of you out there. No, not probably. 21 before 1. I don't know where she got it from. Must have been her mother. 21 before 1. I know. It's just a joke, Sabrina. I mean, he enjoys being picked on. Not as much as Rimmer does, though, by the way. How's Rimmer doing?
What's going to happen with that radio job?
Okay. If you... Oh, what a... So, he's a good guy. I have to preface it by saying that, because otherwise he pouts for like weeks at a time. But what a suckhole, Rimmer. I mean, really, seriously. That way, even Kathy Willits, even Monica Lewinsky, you never heard of a suck job like the one that Rimmer did this morning on this station. Just unconscionable, unacceptable. He's just looking to give me material, I guess.
See Hoover out the moon, man.
And pop, comet, and pop, comet, and pop, comet. That's the place for me.
Yes.
I got my brand new Nikes and I'm ready to dive. 8 boys in cello with the rest of the guys.
Oh.
We're going to a spaceship that can't be seen.
Yeah.
Our souls will be taken by a particle beam. Castration is the only thing that bothers me. You gotta sit down to pee. You know I think the poison is affecting me. It's the Hail Bob Comet for me.
Yeah, the Fidel Tapioca pudding gets you every time. 1244 at 560 QM. So anyway, here's a great fax from Bob. How come the faxes are so good? We had some good calls. We've had a few good calls this week. What, one? Several. But the faxes are fantastic, including the one from John, the gun hugger out there. He's squeezing it right now, and a gun too. So Joe Costello, before I read this fax from Bob, Joe says that a lot of these daughters that are in here today for Bring Your Daughter to Work Day, unlike Sabrina, who's sitting there very polite and eating her lunch and very grateful and very happy, unlike her that's sitting in here with Daddy in the other room, a lot of these other girls around the building are running around like banshees, tearing the place up like Mandy's kids always do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I bet you do. How do you like that? See, that makes my point about bratty little kids, undisciplined. Then, of course, you look at their parents and you say, oh, my God, they're reproducing? And you say, oh, man. Can you really think about too many people in this building who ought to be reproducing?
No.
No, not at all. Anyway, here's this fax from Bob. It says, like you, I travel to Western Europe often. I have many friends there. In Switzerland, there's at least one rifle in every home, and yet none of the slaughter we find here in the U.S. The reason every Swiss citizen serves in the military.
Absolutely correct, sir.
And they are properly trained how to handle firearms. They're responsible, and they're not out to shoot each other and blow each other's brains out. Other countries in Western Europe, Germany, the Netherlands, the UK, Italy, guns are almost impossible to purchase without an extensive background check and proof of proper training. How do you like that? What a concept. It's also important to note that the police system in Europe is fantastic. The average police response time is less than 5 minutes for any emergency call, whether it's as trivial as a pussy in a tree or as serious as kids in black trench coats walking into school and blowing everyone away. You think that could have anything to do with the fact that the cops in Europe are not bullies who just write tickets and harass harmless people who just want to smoke a joint? Just might have something to do with it, Bob. Excellent facts. Thank you, sir. God bless you. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Neil. God bless you. I don't want to get that kid all bent on a joint again. Oh, don't say joint. He might light one up. They're all impressionable, you know. You know what I'm saying? Light one up. Exactly. Just like that episode I told you about in Rome again yesterday. I mean, within a matter of seconds after this gunshot went off up into the air, there were police of every variety that had ever been invented in Italy came out of nowhere and just descended upon that location. And that punk, I think he won't be walking too good for a long time. They don't put up with the crap, okay? In other words, if you want to act barbaric and grotesque and like an animal, they're going to find a place to put you away for a very long time. It's not accepted. But here, what they want to find out the first thing is, which NFL team can we sign you up for? And how many people will pay their money to watch your aberrant behavior? I'm telling you, the one thing I've learned on this station in these 16 months, I mean, and this is not an exaggeration, I have learned to have the greatest contempt for the sports nerds, I mean, far greater than I ever thought I possibly could have, for people who have no scruples, no principle, no nothing. No lives, so as a result, they have to live vicariously through some team. Okay, nothing wrong with rooting for a team, but I mean, to this degree, you have to be insane. You have to be without any brain, rhymes with insane. Hey, listen, if the gangster can run a few yards, if he can get us a first down, man, oh, God. Get out of my face, get off of my cloud, out of my planet. Here's Hollywood, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Rogers?
See.
Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for making your call.
Okay.
Now we're even.
Listen, I just want to make a remark. I'm a non-citizen, U.S. citizen.
Are you an illegal alien? We'll trace the call.
No.
Okay.
So I can give you my honest opinion.
Okay.
I think it all started when you guys formed your republic here in 1776. This is a violent state. And you people are afraid to change laws. Everybody knows that it's the wrong thing to carry a gun.
Mm-hmm.
But still you have the laws and you're afraid to change them.
You mean civilized people know that? We have a lot of people in this country who aren't civilized.
Well, that's your opinion, but...
You don't think that's true? You don't think we have a lot of uncivilized people here?
Maybe not more than anywhere else, but it's it's the culture. It's a culture shock. It's why those things don't happen in what we call, quote unquote, the civilized world. I mean, it happens here in neighborhoods where the least you would expect it.
Yeah.
And I think it's a shame that take for instance, everybody agrees that it's wrong to have all those things on the website, but there is no law that changes is that. You cannot put everything on the web. I think it's a shame that whenever I travel here in the United States...
But you do understand that whatever's on the web, they call it the World Wide Web, because it is worldwide, and people can download it and read it in any part of the world, and they're downloading it in all those other countries that we're talking about, and they're not running out and emulating or taking the messages and killing people because they read something on the World Wide Web. We have a lot of very ignorant people in this country, sir. This is a very uneducated, very impressionable, very backward, juvenile country.
Well, Mr. Rogers, if everybody agreed that one of your laws are that everybody can carry arms here to protect themselves against what? I think this law was made when the English were here and afraid for the Indians.
Afraid of the Queen, yeah. There are a lot of people who are afraid of the Queen.
And maybe for wild animals,
right.
But
I think we ought to let the deer arm themselves to protect themselves against the hunters.
But it's the violence in the people here. You know? If there is an
that's what I'm saying. This is a violent, barbaric country, and people embrace violence. They can't get enough violence. They have an insatiable appetite for violence, and as a result, why should we be surprised that we see these things happening? Well, what's all the shock about? It doesn't surprise me. It's grotesque and it's sad and it's tragic, but it's not surprising. It's a slaughterhouse.
Yeah, but
it is.
Yeah, but why is your government afraid to change the laws? I think
because the government is on the take, sir. The government is on the take from very, very influential, powerful people that spend billions of dollars to make sure that they don't change the laws.
Money talks, sir.
There you go. God bless you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Arrivederci.
See you in Amsterdam.
Okay. Alsjeblieft. Dank u wel. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one. Oh, he's Dutch, therefore he knows what the real world is all about. Ever see a gun in Amsterdam?
No.
No. Ever see anybody shoot anybody?
No.
Most of the cops carry guns in Amsterdam?
No.
No. Unheard of. Unheard of. Of course, they do have a great education system. They're light years ahead of our education system. Number one in the world, by the way, in Netherlands. Are you aware of that? Number one. I mean, that must just be a coincidence, right? 567-0560, pound 560. And, while he was talking, I was thinking about a term that every time I hear it, I don't know whether to laugh or cry. Anger management classes. And the only people I ever hear being talked about, including by some of the people on this radio station, which I won't mention any names, professional athletes. Oh, he needs to go to anger management class. And then he'll be okay. Whichever illiterate jock they're talking about at the moment. Haven't you ever heard that? Anger management class. We have to take somebody to class to teach them that when you get pissed off and fired up, you don't blow somebody away. Doesn't that speak really well for American society? That we have so many scumbags running around. And of course, we shouldn't be worried about those kids, like those 2 kids that shot up all these kids in the school. We just got to, because they weren't jocks. The jocks we got to worry about. Make sure they get anger management training because, after all, we got to save them from whatever it is they're going to do to themselves and everybody else, like Latrine Sprewell, before he chokes the next coach. In fact, maybe he'll even choke, what's his name, David Stern. After they fined him $25,000 for opening his big trap the other day, maybe he'll choke his ass or neck, whichever is larger. Here's Perrine. Hello.
Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
It's not what I'm going to call you about, but it's nice to see that Jimmy Johnson still hasn't met a criminal he doesn't like.
Exactly. He's the gangster coach.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one on the station that'll tell you that, sir, because all these other people, just like the Rim Man, they're rimming him. They're sucking his ass. They're licking. This is the biggest suckhole station I've ever worked at in my life. A bunch of rubber stamps we got on this radio station. Licky, Jimmy. Whatever you say, whatever you do, you're the greatest, baby.
A lot of brown stains there.
That's right. All over. You ought to see the walls in this place, man. Everywhere you look. Oh, there's another one.
But what I'm calling about is,
Jeff
I'm watching TV last night, and I'm hearing all this rhetoric going on about this stuff, and, not once did I hear anything about, the problem we have with guns in this country.
Mm-hmm.
We have our neighbors up in Canada who, for the whole year, don't have as many murders in their country as we do in 1 week.
Right.
I mean...
Oh, we can beat Canada in a good weekend here in Miami.
And,
Miami.
I'd like to know where Chuck Heston is now.
Where is he?
What kind of statement he's going to make after this in defense of his NRA boys,
Uh-huh.
But,
especially now that they took those billboards down with his puss up there in the Denver area. He's probably really pissed off.
I find it pretty funny. Some of the most horrific murders I've ever seen in this country just happen to happen in Mormon areas,
In Mormon areas?
Yeah. In Utah, in Colorado.
George was asking a good question the other day. Now, when that happens, do they stain that magic underwear when that happens?
No, the diaper has to be taken off before they do that.
Okay, thanks. In fact, I wonder, Gary Gilmore, before he got executed out there in Utah, do you think that he stained his... I'm sorry. Oh, he wasn't... 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one. I guess at that point it really didn't make no difference. Here's Kendall. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
This is a statement I like to make about the shooting that happened up in wherever, North America.
North America?
Yeah, wherever. Where people got blown away, because I've been out of touch.
Well, where was that?
Like Colorado.
Very good. Excellent.
This is, besides you and Neil and Phil Hendry, this whole country is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Because they think that improving school security will stop shootings, which is bull. Because when I just graduated about a year and a half ago, we had tight security, but I was able to bring whatever you needed into school. Because there's always a way. People need to start watching their damn kids and watch what they're doing.
To bring whatever you needed? Like, why did you need it?
Guns, drugs, you name it, I bring it into you.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem was the parents never caught an eye or never bothered to watch what their kids were doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same thing that happened with my parents. So they should stop crying about, we got to have security, it's the internet, it's the TV, not the damn rich-ass people's fault, or it's the poor family's fault. They just got to get off their ass and look what their kids are doing.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, pal.
You rule, Neil.
Okay.
All right.
You're right. 567-0560, pound 560 on the 8. But see, that's another part. Parenting in America is a lost art. We got George in there and Sabrina, and that's basically it. No, seriously, parenting in this country is, forget about it. Just to make babies and then let them loose and, worry about having how many BMWs you can have in the yard. This food is delicious today, but it's starting my eye twitching. I wonder what that means. You think it's that horse meat? It's just a joke. It's just a joke, George. Thanks a lot, Wayne. You're a great American. We love Wayne. We love Hudson. Down there at Wayne Arnold's World Castle where you never get a hassle. 1250, look at that. The Dow's up 121. The Nasdaq's up 52. What more could you want, huh? Because that's the American effing way. As long as everybody's got plenty of money, that's all we worry about. Who cares about being alive to spend it?
It's not just the 1 to 2 hour. It's a phenomenon.
Premium beer. You downed a Red Dog. You chugged a Red Wolf. Now open your mouth and wrap your lips around a Red Cock. Red Cock's foamy head will leave you breathless. Red Cock goes down easy, and it's never hard on your throat. So reach into that box and wrap your fingers around a long neck Red Cock. You can shake it and spray it all over. Remember, you can't beat a Red Cock. Just look for the label with the big red pecker on the front.
Opinion?
Oh, the radio job.
Yeah, the radio play-by-play now that Chris
Well,
is doing.
I think obviously Goldie, based on his pinch hitting performance, has got to be considered as a serious candidate. One thing about Steve Goldstein, and I think you'll agree with me, Joe, you know better than anybody in all seriousness, I respect the work that Steve Goldstein puts in. Be it preparing for a Panther radio broadcast. I've had the fortune of working with Joe at QA, or not with Joe, but with Goldie at QAM. And Joe, I think that Goldie's a hard worker, and I really respect that, and I think he's got to be considered in the mix.
Boy, you have been strong.
Way to go, Rim.
What a suck-up job that was.
Absolutely correct, sir.
The world's worst. In fact, we got it in the Guinness Book of Records already, Rimmer. The world's Guinness Book of Rimmer. 102 at 560 WQM. Thanks again to Hudson and Wayne Arnold, by the way. Did I say that enough, you think? Okay. Won't say it no more. WQAM, George is eating. Hello.
Oh, Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, this is really maybe a little too far back to go to solve the problem, but I agree with you.
Are we going to solve the problem? I didn't know we were going to do that.
Well,
well, I'm relieved now.
At least theoretically.
Oh.
You're right about the overpopulation problem. Don't you think it goes back to the Industrial Revolution when they invented, all the antibiotics to prolong life and keep the little babies alive?
No.
No?
How come they have all those antibiotics in all those other countries and their babies aren't running around shooting each other?
But that's, it's a good point. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, then what about this solution?
Okay, let's
Another
try
theoretical
that one didn't work. Let's try another one.
How about flogging them in public and then putting them in prison for life, for the rest of their life?
Okay. Okay, the only problem is these two are dead, so I don't think it'll work too good. Although I did say the other day, because I was very angry after I saw this, that they ought to hang the bodies out there like from a tree on the campus of the high school and let everybody come along and, just whack it with baseball bats, and, like they did with Mussolini and his wife after WW2. I'm starting to talk like Jerry Witzler now, WW2. I must be really getting old. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T. WW2. Hey, Jerry Witzler just drove down the Ho Chi Minh Trail and ran into a couple of jungle bunnies on the way. Well, was he something or what? Talk about guns. Oh, boy. Maybe that's why he's in my mind right now since we have this gun topic. Oh, yeah, good old Jerry. Here's Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
That was Carla Patashi, right?
What is it?
Mussolini's wife, Carla Patashi?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. I agree with you. But
Was she?
I think that was her.
Okay.
That was her name. I agree with you. I think the problem comes in is with the guns. I think there's a proliferation of guns here in the United States and in Europe. They have strict gun control, and they don't get any guns. And you do have your wackos up there. You do have your neo-Nazis. You do have your hooligans and your anarchists there that once in a while they act up, but they don't have any weapons that they can act up with. So obviously you don't see that like.
Yeah, see, but in a societal way, it's become a problem-solving method for Americans is getting a gun, having a gun, and blowing somebody else away. That's what it's become, and they don't do that in other places.
That's correct, and they don't have the accessibility and also the education along with it.
Yeah.
And here, you're never going to solve it, first of all, because forget about the Constitution, it's big business. The gun industry here makes billions of dollars a year.
Right.
Making
which is why in Florida we want to make sure that there's no lawsuits against them because the politicians here are all in the take from the gun industry.
Absolutely. That's one of the strongest lobbies around is the NRA and everything. So you're never going to be able to solve that. So unfortunately, unless we start thinking much more about human life and instead of guns or big business or the almighty dollar, we're going to continue seeing this once in a while. I got modern material.
Okay, sir.
Bye-bye.
See you. I think what he's trying to say is it's a barbaric slaughterhouse. I don't want to put words in his mouth. Is that what he's trying to say? Yeah. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Uncle Neil, you're the best. Listen, the way I look at things sometimes, it's only my opinion. But we got a war going on now in Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
Why don't these kids join the army? I mean, you can kill people legally.
Yeah, why don't they go kill some Serbians? There you go. That's a good idea. Take out their aggression. That's an excellent idea. I mean, we tried bombing Milosevic's hangout last night, 4 o'clock this morning. Did it work?
No.
No. I mean, they bombed the place, but was he there?
No.
No. We have the damnedest tough time, with that damn goddamn Saddam Hussein and his slobby Milosevic. We just can't seem to hit him at the right time. Why don't they learn from the Godfather? They hit us, we hit them back. But like the guy said in that great letter to the editor in the Herald yesterday, the Serbs only started acting up when we started bombing their country. Right.
They were nice before.
They were real nice before. They were doing it. They were lightly killing the Albanians. It was just a very light ethnic cleansing they were doing. In fact, I think they were even breading them before they put them in those mass graves. Yeah. Before they heated them up in a microwave. Yeah, Albanian Parmesan. 567-0560, pound 560. Yeah, they on both sides, of course, even it out. Pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I mean, the Herald just continues, man. The dumber the letter you write, the more likely they're going to put it in the paper, okay, because they love it. They never met a dummy they didn't like, including their editor and publisher. Here's a mobile in Hollywood. Hello.
Stop using the word God, or you'll pay for your
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you'll pay for your sins. Okay. Get off the toilet, pal. We can hear it. Heard the sound. And now we can smell it. Didn't hang up soon enough on that asshole. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Where we be going? Here's Miami. Hello. Miami.
Good afternoon, Neil.
Yes, sir. Neil God speaking.
Okay.
Sorry.
I appreciate you taking my call.
Okay.
I was wondering, and I don't know, I've been listening to you for the last couple of days, and I listen to you on and off whenever I'm in the car, but I was wondering if anyone has mentioned where are the parents, and
Yes.
what are the parents doing? Because
We don't know.
you look at some of these things, you read in the newspaper, you listen to the media, these people have a small arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
Where do they get the money to fund? We're talking 16, 17-year-old kids at best working at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, does anybody have any answers to that?
No, we don't know anything about the parents yet, except that they're very sorry and they sent out very apologetic messages, like you'd expect them to do. But other than that, we haven't learned anything yet.
It's amazing, the deterioration of society.
Yeah.
It's amazing because, I mean, I'm a 41-year-old male, and I have plenty of handguns that I used to buy when I was much younger. But to be quite honest with you, I haven't fired them in 20 years.
So I'm going to tell you something. Talk about parents. Parents have got to teach their kids that violence is bad, it's ugly, it's unacceptable. Not to relish violence, not to admire violence, not to have an appetite for violence. Violence is un-effing acceptable. That should be the American way.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Because people, like I said before, that want to live in a violent environment like we do, it's a barbaric slaughterhouse. And nobody with a brain, nobody who realizes that life doesn't have to be like this, wants to live in this kind of environment.
I agree with you.
Surrounded by animals.
I agree with you. You know, I've heard you mention Las Vegas on occasion, and
Yes, sir.
I've been to Las Vegas once. In fact, within the last 2 years. First time I loved it,
Right.
and would love to go back. And I lived in Boston for 3 years, and I don't know if you've ever been to Boston.
Many. I used to live there.
Okay, well, I lived in a small town called Natick for
Sure.
3 years,
Mm-hmm.
and over in Boston, I'm sure if like from 1990 to 1993, you could walk the theater district there, Neil, going over to the Wang Theater
Yeah.
to see a play, completely safe.
Yeah.
Completely safe. You wouldn't feel that you were in any danger whatsoever. Unlike perhaps, you walk here in downtown Miami, which
Well, but how many cities in America can you think of where you really can do that at night?
I've
Very, very, very few, and certainly where we live here, it ain't one of them.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I just think that the culture in the different parts of the country, geographically speaking,
Yeah.
are so different the way that people are brought up. It's almost like Americana in the Northeast, like a Norman Rockwell kind of environment, versus like down here in Miami as an example, or some of these things that are happening. I mean, I took a look at the picture of
Let me ask you this. Would you be walking the streets in Roxbury at night?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, thanks.
Absolutely not.
Neil, I'm a Miami resident, and I just happened to hear the Neil talk show on my way home, and I think it's absolutely horrible, and I don't understand how anybody with values and morals or a social conscience can allow such a thing to be broadcast on their station. This guy is just cursing at people, insulting, blaspheming, just spreading anger and hatred. I don't understand that. I mean, do you have children? Do you have a family? Do you care what's going on, in the world?
No.
That just this bad stuff should be going around? Someone just venting all their hatred and anger at innocent people? I mean, he just left somebody crying on the air. And maybe it's very popular and makes a lot of money for your station, but this is really not what the world needs. I mean, things are bad enough. I don't think we need a guy like this. And I really find it very offensive and just horrible. I mean, how would you like if your children were listening to that and growing up in a world where this kind of thing is acceptable, where people can talk like that and be paid for it and be endorsed? I mean, I'm just horrified and disgusted. And I'm sure I'm not the only person who feels that way. please try and take consideration of the rest of the world and other people that have to listen to this kind of garbage.
No.
And I hope you will, because this is really something that's not acceptable. If you want this world to get to be a better place, this is not the way to do it.
Damn it. Yeah, that's right. You tell him, honey. If you want to live in a world where people blow each other's brains out, then you got it. But having this stuff on the radio where somebody's exercising his First Amendment rights and voicing his opinions, that's bad, because she's a uptight bitch. 116 at 560 WQAM. Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Pretty good, sir.
Listen, I'm listening to everybody talk on the radio. I'm listening to your comments, and I agree with them. It is a very violent society, and a permissive society, and there's not enough punishment for violent acts. But I have a question to ask you, and that is, you take the worst neighborhoods in Los Angeles or Chicago or New York.
Yeah.
How come in those bad neighborhoods, in those slum schools, we don't have kids going in and blowing kids away in those schools? I mean, in mass quantities. I mean, you look at this Columbine school, it was in a wonderful neighborhood.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful school.
Yeah.
And these kids lived in the best
Right.
housing.
That's right. Upper middle class. That's right.
So how come this only
because they're doing it out on the streets? What difference does it make if they get shot out on the street or in the school? The fact is that in the inner cities you're talking about, people are getting shot like cockroaches. It's just a matter of time. There'll be one of these in a ghetto somewhere.
So
Just a matter of time.
You're saying that what difference does it make? Is it 15 at a time or one at a time?
No, I'm not saying what difference does it make. I'm just saying it'll happen. It happened. Look at the places where it happened: Paducah, Kentucky, Littleton, Colorado, Jonesboro, Arkansas. What difference does it make where it happens?
Yeah, but they're happening in good neighborhoods, in good schools.
Good neighborhoods and in rural neighborhoods where there are a lot of poor people. It doesn't make any difference. They're happening in neighborhoods where the kids were brought up real strict and religious, and where the kids were a bunch of skinheads. I mean, everything in between. It's the American effing way, sir. It doesn't make any difference. That's the point.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil, how are you?
Okay, sir.
The real truth of the matter is it really noteworthy if little Billy Bob walks into a school in Harlem and blows anybody away? Of course not. Who cares? It happens all the time. When it does happen, when it does happen in Middle America, that's front page news.
It happens all the time in Harlem? I didn't know that.
Well, it may not happen in the schools, but it certainly happens in the streets. And
right,
who cares
exactly.
about
Well, that's what I'm trying to say to this guy. What difference does it make whether people decide to do it out in the streets where it's a more violent environment in the ghettos or in a school system somewhere where nobody expects it?
The truth of the matter is, in these small little towns that we're hearing about, Middle America, where are Mom and Dad, Uncle Jethro and the whole gang? They're all out in the back teaching the kids how to shoot guns.
Yeah.
And where's their responsibility?
They don't have any. You can't complain about their responsibility because they don't have any.
This jackass on NBC the other night is blaming society and TV and Hollywood. Of course he doesn't talk about what Mom and Dad. Where are Mom and Dad?
Now, who is that? Which jackass was this?
Some guy from the police at MSNBC from the city being interviewed on
if it's on MSNBC, my lunch is already coming up. Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay.
Anything that's on MSNBC except oh no, the one show I do like on there is what's it called? Timeline, Timeline,
which has the timeline.
Timeline with Jane Pauley. That's a good show. Only what difference does it make if it was 79, 80, or 81? You know what I'm saying? That stupid song, whatever it was. If it was 78, 79, cut it out, Jane. Stop being a goody two-shoes know-it-all bitch. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil.
Yes, I am.
Three things. Yesterday, did you happen to read the letters to the editor, Eddie Pope?
Yes, I did. I mentioned that.
I didn't.
How dare he? The one good column that he ever wrote in all the 500 years he's been here, and he gets flooded with calls from these indignant butt lickers who want to kiss Jimmy on the ass. How dare he have the audacity to question Jimmy?
I just couldn't believe it.
Isn't that incredible?
It was incredible.
And that's exactly what I've been trying to tell you. These sports nerds, they're the ones who created this. If the sports fans started revolting and saying, hey, we're not going to spend these big bucks to subsidize these goons, these criminals, these scumbags, then you better believe the league would say, hey, guess what? These guys, they're not, you can't sign them. But as long as they keep filling the stand, and as long as people only care about, who can run fast and who carried the ball, then that's what's going to happen. It's a scumbag league.
It was LeBastard the week before who said, who cares, whoever is going to put money on the table. But, you read that one column. JJ had to go to H. Wayne and get approval for this, And every time
Wayne said if they win games, nobody will care. That's what Wayne said. And unfortunately, he's right.
And he and his wife Marty, they were upset because they couldn't get their name on that children and women's.
And they were very upset that Doug McClain was seen, mouthing four-letter words on close-up shots on the camera there, which is one of the reasons he got canned as coach of the Panthers. They were real upset about that.
Unbelievable.
Sanctimonious hypocrites, I think, is what you're looking for.
The other thing was I noticed that the NRA, their annual meeting was scheduled next week for.
Yeah, I talked
Denver.
about that, yeah. And they've had to water it down. And even take poor Charlton Heston's picture off the billboards. How do you like that?
You son of a bitch.
There you go.
Last but not least,
sir.
page 2A, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
You got to read that little article about the island, the name of the island where he was capsized from.
Okay.
Today.
Which paper?
2A, the Herald.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.
Okay, let me dig in the wastebasket here. Oh, God, look at that. Look how nice the Herald fits in my wastebasket. Oh, it's beautiful in there. Here's the sports, here's the business, here's the Broward. Good article, by the way, Fred Grimm today. NRA caught in the crossfire. Good article. It's about time, Fred. Now, he's okay. About once every 6 months, he writes a good one. Let's see. Boys will be, there's Leo DiCaprio. There's that screamer, that little floater. Probably never dreamed he'd land in the drink again after Titanic, but unlucky Leo had to leap overboard when the boat he was in during the filming of The Beach was swamped in southern Thailand. Oh, I bet you he's having a good time in Thailand, by the way, George. A monsoon whipped up high waves off the island of, Phuket, Phuket,
Thailand,
flooding the boat and dragging it out to sea. How do you like that? Well, just Phuket, man. If you can't sail it, just Phuket. Okay, thank you, sir. Oh, God. Oh. Okay, where are we going? Let's go to somewhere. North Lauderdale. Hello.
Couple of things, Neil.
Yes, sir.
They arrested Scottie Pippen last night in Texas.
Reference to what?
Scottie Pippen was arrested for DWI.
Yeah. How did I miss that?
All right.
Great.
All right. And a talk show host was fired for
For what?
a bad joke about the shooting. The talk show host was fired.
Yeah.
Telling a bad joke.
Oh, you know who this
about
is? This is the guy with the fanny pack. Okay, I thought I was getting ill. That's the guy with the fanny pack. You're not a bad guy. Yeah, you are. You're annoying. And by the way, he must have lost his job at the arena there the last half of the season. Never saw him no more. No wonder, even though we were losing and playing badly, it always became less painful. Because I didn't have to answer 85,000 different questions about, what color is John's car and this and that, and does my dog take a dump in a house, and, The guy with the fanny pack, he was like a security guard at the Macarena for a while, for a short while, until maybe he annoyed too many people. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I mean, when you can't even go out and take a leak without somebody, while giving you the third degree, wanting your whole life story because they're a yenta, but you're okay, pal. Just stay away. Here's Homestead. Hello.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Okay, sir.
A couple of things. You're talking about the unsafe streets.
Yeah.
Well, like the city of Miami, forget it. I mean, they
toilet. It's a toilet.
They close the buildings at 7 o'clock and
right.
to get the hell out of town. I learned that in the mid-'80s.
Even the security guards stay under the counters.
Exactly. I keep guns, and I collect, and I'm also a parent of two boys.
Right.
And when my kids were old enough, I taught them the difference between a real gun and a phony gun. And they, to this day, respect real guns. They have no problem.
Right.
And one of them's a school teacher. He teaches in the roughest school in Dade County, middle school.
Wow.
I firmly believe that the whole problem comes down to parenting. Parents are not, they're working two jobs just to pay the mortgage. They don't have time to spend with their kids, as our parents did spend with us.
Well, let me ask you this question. I mean, aren't these things that I realize that this is really revolutionary, but before people start making babies, don't you think they ought to kind of like sit down and think about how much it's going to cost to raise a kid and put them through school and hopefully maybe to college and dress them and feed them and clothe them and all of these things? Don't you think maybe that makes some sense?
Yes, but where are they going to learn that?
And of course, in America, one of the worst problems we have is that the people who are least able to raise children, they're the ones who are reproducing the most.
Perhaps their parents aren't teaching
Those are the
them.
ones who are having like litters.
Perhaps their parents aren't teaching them what it takes to raise a child.
Yeah.
By not being there.
But why don't we teach people these things?
I agree. 100%.
I mean, we teach people all kinds of abstract things, speaking of the school system, but things that have to do like with real life, like maybe even writing a check, stuff like that. We don't teach anybody about that stuff.
Right. That's true. The thing you played earlier, the handgun bit.
Right.
Get a handgun.
Right.
That's what these kids, they learn that early on because they're not taught respect for life or
well, but that's the American society. When human life becomes very cheap, then you got real problems. And
we are right
you
now.
can scrape away all the other stuff about the parents and whose fault it is, but when this is the value system of a society, when human life is cheap and disposable, then you got real problems.
It's only going to get worse.
I know.
In the future.
I'll see you at the passport office.
Bud.
Okay. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I know there are a lot of people out there who are, for example, Corey Sabin was in there this morning. He's a good guy, but he's talking about, someday he wants to visit here and visit there. And where has he ever been? His parents, when he was 17, they sent him to Israel. Israel. Why? Why? Why would anybody in their right mind, why would any person in its right mind want to go to Israel? Just because you're Jewish, you got to go to Israel? No. Go see the real world. That's not the real world. That's a slaughterhouse. That's where everybody's sitting around waiting to get blown up on a bus. That's where people are fighting over a crappy piece of land in the middle of a desert. All desert. A guy like him, who he's talking about going on vacation to the Grand Canyon and backpacking and this and that and doing all of these things. Why didn't he backpack his way through Europe and stay at the youth hostels and, go to Amsterdam and go to Paris and go to Rome and see what the real world is all about? I'm not making it up. I have no vested interest. I had no idea 12 years ago when I first made my trip to Europe what I was going to encounter over there. It's the difference between day and night. And yeah, there are places where the people are scumbags, like in France. I wouldn't go back to Paris if they paid for the trip, if they gave me $10,000 spending money, unless I could leave after the first 5 minutes. Scum, trash, garbage, human excrement. But there are a lot of places, boy, where the people are real honest-to-God people and they really know how to live, and you don't live in a slaughterhouse and you can walk the streets and people are civilized and they have respect for human life. Wow, what a concept. So the fact that I respect those kinds of societies, and that's my idea of what life ought to be all about, well, if you can't handle that, that's too bad.
Neil, God.
25 till 2 at 560 WQAM. I'm playing that and I'm thinking about these people that talk about the devil this and the devil that, and I was thinking about the image, this red devil with the horns on the head and the big long tail and the pitchfork. I mean, devil without a pitchfork, that ain't no real devil, Gotta have a big long pitchfork. I think he's going to stick you in the rectum with it. Yeah, probably. Huh? I mean, what's more fanciful, the devil or Santa Claus? At least Santa Claus, he's fuzzy and he's got a beard and he only bugs you only once a year, and comes down the chimney. Squirt. Stuff like that. But the devil, he's there all the time doing all these bad things. All this evil. Every time something happened, the devil made me do it.
All of these things.
That's right. God is good. God is wonderful. God is love. But the devil, there's the problem. There's the rub. So quit rubbing it. Here's West Palm Beach. Hello.
DNH.
Yes.
Neil?
Yes, I am.
I just wanted to tell you what I feel. And all these guys who need handguns,
yeah,
they're a bunch of pussy faggots.
That's right.
And
that's what I said. Guys with no penis.
And how come there's 250,000 handguns?
I guarantee you Charlton Heston has no penis.
You son of a bitch.
Guaranteed.
250 million handguns. Does that mean most of these
one
guys
that's
have
almost
5
one per
each?
person.
Most of these guys have 5 each?
No, that's one per person. We just haven't spread them around. We haven't distributed them all yet.
Pussy faggots.
Okay, thank you. That's right. Just like a lot of the sports faggots who call in on this radio station, who their lives are obsessed with the guys running around with tight pants and jock straps on. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. The devil! Oh, the devil's going to get you! I mean, stop and think about that, really. Just stop. I know it's very difficult. It's depressing. We don't want to be depressing. Well, think about that. People who really, honest to God, oh, did he say God? Yeah. Honest to effing God, believe in the devil. Oh, and the devil is horny all the time. That's why sex is evil, because the devil's got those horns on. That's right. He's got those two big, crooked, hooked... In fact, I'll tell you one thing. Better than the antlers on the mantelpiece, how about the devil's horns? That would be something. Then you can tell some stories to your grandkids. How you got the devil, and you got his horns right there on the mantel to show it. Right, Mickey? Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Great.
I just want to comment. I'm sick and tired of people blaming guns for all the problems of this country.
Right. Guns are great, man. Guns are beautiful.
Hey,
guns are wonderful.
Hey, you believe in your First Amendment rights, don't you?
Right.
Sir,
don't waste my time with the baloney about a well-regulated militia.
How come you're selecting which rights you want to
Sir,
support?
don't tell me what I should believe. You asked me
Hey,
to.
I don't care what you
believe.
believe.
Okay, well, guess what then? I don't care what you believe. How do you like that, gun hugger? I was going to listen to you, but if you don't care what I believe, then go listen to some other show. Find out what Lard-ass Limbo believes. He'll agree to you. He'll agree with all your right-wing bullcrap all the way down the road. He doesn't care what I believe. See what I'm saying? I'm delighted this guy called, because he's a classic example of the gun-hugging mentality. He doesn't care what anybody else believes. I mean, they had slaves before the Revolution, before the Civil War, too. Does that mean that because Jefferson had slaves and slept with at least one of them, therefore it should be okay today? Is that what that means, sir?
Uh-huh.
Probably in his mind, yes. At least put him in the right place, you know. This baloney about, well, this says this and this says that. And by the way, speaking of that, I'll tell you another part of the big problem we got in America today. And it's become a cliche, but it is oh so true. Now that we got people like Loan Me $50.
Loan Me $50.
Putting on Jerry Spence on there and all these other media whores to pontificate and share their expertise with us as if they know something. Lawyers. See, in America, you go out and commit the most aberrant crimes, but hey, guess what? People don't get punished all the time because if they got enough money or enough fame, like OJ, and they got the right attorneys in there, the right lawyers to manipulate the system, we don't ever punish them. They go out and play golf every day. That's right. Lawyers with no conscience. Scumbag lawyers defending scumbag clients. People who are threatening the real danger to all society. That's what America's all about. We don't give a crap about justice. We just give a crap about who can afford the best lawyers. With no conscience. Right, Johnny Cochran?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. A Mexican national holiday.
All right.
Some stations are giving away trips to Cancun. Some are giving away trips to Mexico City. But we're bringing Mexico to you. That's right. We're giving away Mexican. Real live Mexican. Ay, caramba. We'll be smuggling illegal aliens across the border in the wheel well of a station van. Then we'll give one to you. Imagine your own personal Mexican. They'll wash your car, clean your house, pick your crop. Anything you want. Because if they don't, you'll have them deported. Adios, amigo. Be the 10th caller when you hear this sound and win a Mexican.
Members of this station and their families are not eligible to own Mexicans. Bathing and delousing of Mexicans is winner's responsibility. Station assumes no liability for infectious diseases carried by Mexicans.
Celebrate Cinco de Mayo in your own home every day with your very own Mexican. People listening to win.
Okay, 144 at 560 WQAM. Love that Cinco de Mayo. Unfortunately, it's not. Is there anybody in this town interested in that holiday?
No.
We have any Mexicans here?
No.
Besides down there in like Florida City, picking grapes. Why is that? Why don't we have some nice Mexicans here? I'm sorry, I should never have asked you that question. I mean, Luis Miguel, he's nice. He's okay. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Neil.
And then there's, yes, sir.
Yeah, a couple things. I've been listening to you. I'm trying to write my art paper, but I couldn't help but call.
Okay.
I'm a younger guy, you know. I'm 25, you know. But I think this whole situation with all the violence and everything, with these kids blowing up and everything, I think it all starts with the parenting, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to use myself as an example. Okay. I was, as like 12 years old, I was taken hunting, okay, by my pastor of the church. Okay, and
you were taken hunting by the pastor of the church?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, my mother was a single mother, you know, and I didn't really have a father figure or anything.
Right.
And the pastor had stepped in, whatever. And, you know, it might be messed up, pastor taking a little kid to go kill animals, whatever, but it taught me a respect for handguns, okay?
Okay.
The other thing is that my mother was a strict disciplinarian. She didn't beat me, but she spanked me, right? And I
nice going, Ma.
Yeah, you know, and you know, at the time when she did it, whatever, you know, I'd be pissed at her because she spanked me, whatever. Now I fully understand, you know, and I think that these kids today are taught that as soon as a parent lays a hand on them, that it's child abuse. And now
time to get a lawyer and parental malpractice, right?
Right, and you know, and now the parents are scared to death to discipline their kids, so they give them timeouts. What the hell is that? You know, that's nothing. You know, and one of my friends, now I'm not proud of this, but one of my friends that, you know, I met in high school or whatever, he had grown up, 2 parents in the household, no discipline whatsoever. He's now doing life in Rayford. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, no respect for human life, nothing. You know, but me, I have a single parent with a mother that taught me from the get-go, you know, to respect human life. You know, so I think something has to be done about the parenting situation. And I know we can't say that, you know, parents have to be licensed to have kids or whatever, but I think that we can hold parents responsible for their kids' actions.
Amen.
You know what I'm
saying? Right. Amen.
But I have a request.
Yes, sir.
It's like the Limerick song, You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
At the end it says, if you think the song's dirty.
Go after yourself.
Right.
Okay.
And can I call someone a douchebag?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, everyone that's playing football today in Cooper City tonight, douchebags.
Okay.
See you later.
See ya.
Bye.
Now, which one is that? If you think this is dirty, go after yourself. What is that? Hyenas?
Farmer's daughter.
Oh, Farmer's daughter. Boy, you're right on top of those. Huh? Oh, Farmer's daughter is in this? No. You put Farmer's daughter in the thing? There's Verkackte Mishpacha. There's no Farmer's daughter in there.
The Farmer's daughter. But it's not in there either.
No, it's not in there. I'll get to it in just a couple of minutes. I know where to put my finger on it, and the bit too. Okay, where are we going? Here's Big Pine Key. Hello.
Neil, God.
Yes, sir.
How are you today?
Great.
All right. I'm calling into a response to that call you had. I think it was on tape about the lady that.
Oh yeah, that's an old one, yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
And by the way, for the guy that called and said, "I don't care what you think," guess what? We don't care what you think either, smartass. But anyway, go ahead.
I'd like to put my 2 cents worth in how much I think your values are excellent, and we incorporate them into our family and use them for our kids every day to get a daily dose of Neil God.
Right.
And
yeah, I got my head screwed on straight, sir. DNH makes all the sense in the world. Do no harm, and
that's right.
Period. That's it. Very simple. It's so simple. It's such common sense. What's the big deal? It doesn't cost you any money. Don't have to go to some stupid service and mumble a lot of stupid words.
Right.
You don't have to pray to some supernatural being that certainly doesn't exist and never responds anyway.
Correct. And 2 years ago, I couldn't get my son into Boy Scouts because we had put down we didn't believe in God. This year he's got to start because he believes in God now. So when he says the pledge, he says, Neil, God.
There you go.
So there is a God.
And God bless you.
He got into the Boy Scouts.
Thanks a lot.
Keep up the good work.
See ya.
Take care.
Neil, God.
Oh, don't keep saying that. Why do you say that? It's like, you know what's like? It's like the assholes that kept asking why did I wear the yarmulkes on the TV show on Whammy. See, I never should have done that because I thought that there might be a little bit of intellect out there that people might understand that it was a joke, that it was satirical, that it was a biting commentary, and like, oh, how come, is he like really religious? Isn't that kind of hypocritical? You know, like, what is that? Where the hell did that come from? How can you get that with 2 T's, baby? Huh? Yeah. Well, even this thing's acting up today. Well, I want to pick on Daryl again. You leave him alone. He deserves his 80th chance, don't he? In Rayford? 567-0560, pound 560 in the AT&T wireless line. Oh, he just makes so much damn sense. When's he going to stop saying these things? Yeah, that's the problem. Too much sense. The guy that, I don't care what you think. Well, then great. Why would you call somebody if you don't want to have a conversation? What's the point? You want to make a speech? Get yourself a little soapbox. Go out on a street corner somewhere. Meantime, I'm talking to hundreds of thousands of people every week, and this guy, he don't want to have a conversation because he doesn't care what anybody else thinks, unless, of course, we agree with him. Which we all know exactly what that is.
That's the American fucking way.
Unless I'm looking now because I don't trust that thing.